Man, you gonna invite evil spirits into your house.
I ain't doing that. You know what I'm saying? All right, y'all. We give praise, esteem, and honor to Abba and Shamaim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Go pick us up in John chapter 5, verse 39. Search the scriptures, for in them you think you have eternal life, and they are they which testify of me. You will not come to me that you might have life. I receive not honor from men, but I know you, that you have not the love of Elohim in you. I come in my Abba's name, and you receive me not. And if another shall come in his own name, him you will receive. How can you believe which receive honor one from another, and not the honor that comes from Elohim only? Do not think that I will accuse you to Abba. There is one that accuses you, even Moses, in whom you trust. Had you believed Moses, you would have believed me, for he wrote of me. But if you believe not his writings, how should you believe my words? All esteem and praise to Abba and Shamaim in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Come on to Revelation 5:1. Go ahead.
And I saw on the right hand of him that sat on the throne a book written within, and on the backside sealed with 7 seals. And I saw a strong Malachim proclaiming with a loud voice, "Who is worthy to open the book and to loose the seals thereof?" And no man in Shamaim, nor in the earth, nor under the earth, was able to open the book, neither to look thereon.
Mm-hmm.
And I wept much, because no man was found worthy to open and to read the book, neither to look thereon.
Mm-hmm.
And one of the elders said unto me, "Weep not, behold, the Lion of the tribe of Yehudah, the root of David, has prevailed to open the book and to loose the 7 seals thereof."
Mm-hmm.
And I beheld, and lo, in the midst of the throne and of the 4 beasts, and in the midst of the elders, stood a lamb as it had been slain, having 7 horns and 7 eyes, which are the 7 ruachs of Elohim sent forth into all the earth.
Mm-hmm.
And he came and took the book out of the right hand of him that sat upon the throne. And when he had taken the book, the 4 beasts and 24 elders fell down before the Lamb, having every one of them harps and golden vials full of odors, which are the prayers of saints.
Mm-hmm.
And they sung a new song, saying, "You are worthy to take the book and to open the seals thereof. You were slain and have redeemed us to Elohim by your blood, out of every kindred and tongue and people and nation, and have made us unto our Elohim kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth."
So come on to Zechariah 6:1.
And I turned and lifted up my eyes, and I looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains.
Shalom.
The mountains were mountains of brass. And the first chariot were red horses, and the second chariot black horses.
Mm-hmm.
And the third chariot white horses, and the 4th chariot grizzled and bay horses.
Mm-hmm.
And I answered and said unto the Malachim that talked with me, "What are these, my Lord?"
What are these?
And the Malachim answered and
Peace,
said,
brother. My shalom, brother.
"These are the 4 ruachs of Shamaim, which go forth from standing before the Lord of all the earth. The black horses which are therein go forth into the north country, and the white go forth after them, and the grizzled go forth toward the south country. And the bay went forth and sought to go, that they might walk to and fro through the earth. And he said, "Get you hence, walk to and fro through the earth."
Tell them what grizzled is, man, by definition, man.
It is borrowed, spotted, or marked.
And what the color of all of this was, man? Black,
Red and white.
Black, red, and white. So let's come on over here to Revelation chapter 6 and verse 1.
And I saw when the Lamb opened one of the seals, and I heard, as it were the noise of thunder, one of the 4 beasts saying, "Come and see."
And what he saw?
And I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer.
Paul, go back to Zechariah 6, man. Read the one, call the verse with the white horse in it. Shalom, Sister Gwen.
Verse 2.
Read it again. Zechariah 6 and 2.
And I saw and behold a white horse.
Shalom,
and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him.
No, Zechariah.
Oh.
I need to help you out, man. Let me help you out. Man, I seen a nigga made a post talking about, "Gentlemen, shave your beard. You'll appreciate it." I say, yeah, you can have that one there by yourself, boy. Boy, that, man, shoot. Walking around here, booty face, boy. Zechariah 6 and 3, but you can start at 1. Nah, boy. That boy say walk around here with the mustache. Just a mustache. That's great. Go ahead.
Then I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass. And the first
say
chariot,
2 chariots came out of what?
Between 2 mountains.
Remember, we talked about these mountains. But if you don't know what mountains he's talking about, go to Ezekiel 35 real fast, man. Verse 5. Yeah, I mean, for me, I'm not walking around here booty faced because I have no desire to do that. I'm 45 years old. I look like walking around here with a bare face, man. Man, I seen a reel with Tony Yale, Uncle Murray. I realized, boy, these boy booty face. Man, you look like you in jail, boy. Come on, man. Nobody got time for that. Go ahead.
So because you have had perpetual hatred and have shed the blood of children of Yasharal by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end.
Mm-hmm.
Therefore, as I live, saith Yahuwah Elohim, I'll prepare you unto blood, and blood shall pursue you. Since you have not hated blood, even blood shall pursue you.
It's going to pursue.
Thus will I make Mount Seir most desolate, and will cut off from it him that pass out and him that return.
Mm-hmm.
And I will fill his mountains with slain men in your hills and in your valleys, and in all your rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword.
Slain with the sword,
and I will
baby.
make you perpetual desolations, and your cities shall not return. And you shall know that I am Yahuwah.
You gonna know? Go ahead.
Because you have said, these 2 nations and these 2 countries shall be mine, and we will possess it, whereas Yahuwah was there.
Go ahead.
Therefore, as I live, saith Yahuwah Elohim, I will even do according to your anger and according to your envy, which you have used out of your hatred against them, and I'll make myself known among them when I have judged you. You shall know that I am Yahuwah, that I have heard all your blasphemies which you have spoken against the mountains of Yasharal.
Oh, there it is.
They are laid desolate, they are given us to consume.
Now you see how he said these 2 nations and these 2 countries, right? Representative of how he said them chariots coming between 2 mountains, just to solidify that the mountain is the government, man. Isaiah 2:1 on general principle. I'm just rehashing something we already talked about. Zechariah 6:1 with the mountains being represent. No. That was in Revelation. We were looking at the mountains are representative of governments or authorities. Go ahead.
The word that Isaiah the son of Amos saw concerning Yehuda and Jerusalem, it shall come to pass in the last days that the mountain of Yahuwah's house shall be established, and the top of the mountains and shall be exalted above the hills.
That's it.
And all nations shall flow unto it.
Now that's it. That's all you need. Come on back, man. So Zechariah 6:1 again.
I turned and lifted up my eyes and looked, and behold, there came 4 chariots out from between 2 mountains, and the mountains were mountains of brass.
Yep.
And the first chariot were red horses, and in the second chariot black horses, and in the third chariot white horses, and in the fourth chariot gristled and bay horses.
So you can line it up, so you can see that there. So of course, I think we talked about verse 2 already. Come back to Revelation 6:2, which is Mashiach coming to conquer, but just on the house. What's this here? Matthew 21. Yeah. Matthew 21:1.
And when they drew near to Jerusalem and were come to Bethphage unto the Mount of Olives, then sent Yahushua 2 disciples, saying unto them, go into the village over against you.
That's right.
And straightway you shall find an ass tied and a colt with her. Loose them and bring them unto me.
That's right.
And if any man say aught unto you, you shall say, the Lord have need of them, and straightway he will send them.
That's right.
All this was done that it might be fulfilled, which was spoken by the prophet, saying, tell you, the daughter of Zion, behold, your king come unto you, meek and sitting upon an ass, and a colt the foal of an ass. And the disciples went and did as Yahushua commanded them.
Now we just sitting back looking at him coming in as a triumphant king. Y'all already know that. Peace, Brother Nate. But what I want you to do is go to Zechariah, where it come from, and look at the remainder of the information that's not necessarily contained in Matthew, because you're supposed to already know this. You know what I'm saying? As it pertains to what's written in Zechariah. You can go to Zechariah 9, and you can pick it up at verse 5. Because that's what comes to mind. We really need verse 9, but you can read verse 5. Shalom, Brother Mark.
Ashkelon shall see it in fear. Gaza also shall see it and be very sorrowful.
Oh, that's it.
And Ekron for expectation shall be ashamed, and the king shall perish from Gaza, and Ashkelon shall not be inhabited.
Now, reason why we're looking at that, because see, these chariots is coming between these 2 mountains, and on this white horse that's on these carrying on these chariots, he said there sits upon him that has a bow and a crown, given unto him that he went forth conquering and conquered. Did we read Ezekiel 1 with this, man? I don't think we read Ezekiel 1 with this, did we? No, we didn't. I just feel like reading Ezekiel 1 for some reason. Go to Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 22.
And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was as the color of the terrible crystal stretched forth over their heads above.
And as you should remember, that's what it looked like, sapphire and crystal. When they sat and ate with the God of Yasharal in Exodus, man. Shalom, Brother Margaret. Come on with it, man.
And under the firmament were their wings straight, that one toward the other, everyone had two, which one covered on this side, and everyone had two, which covered on that side, their bodies. And when they went, I heard the noise of their wings, like the noise of great waters, as the voice of the Almighty.
Pause. I want y'all to look at something, right? I want y'all to come back. The verse 20, right? I want you to read verse 20. I want y'all to catch some verbiage real quick. This is Ezekiel 1 and 20.
Wheresoever the rock was to go, they went. There was the rock to go, and the wheels were lifted up over against them. For the rock of the living creature was in the wheels.
When those went,
these went.
And when those
stood, these stood.
And when those were lifted up
from the earth, the wheels were lifted up over against them.
For the ruach
of the living creature was in the wheels.
And the likeness of the what?
Firmament upon the heads of the living creature.
And the color was what?
Of the terrible crystal stretched forth over their heads above.
And under
the firmament were their wings straight, the one toward the other. Everyone had two, which covered on this side, and everyone had two, which covered on that side, their bodies.
Now I want y'all to pause and look at verses 22 and 23. And I'd like for someone to tell me what would stand out to them as what you see in verses 22 and 23 of Ezekiel chapter 1. We hold in Zechariah and Revelation chapter 6. Peace, Brother Joseph, man. Can anybody tell me, read verses 22 and 23 again?
Saying the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creature was as the color of the terrible crystal stretched forth over their heads above. And under the firmament were their wings straight, the one toward the other. Everyone had two, which covered on this side, and everyone had two, which covered on that side, their bodies.
Does anything stand out to anybody for verses 22 and 23? Somebody got to be able to pull the trigger.
They had the likeness of the firmament on their heads.
Anybody besides Sylvia, man? If not, we're going to proceed. All right, then. Let's go to Genesis chapter 1. Tell me what verse 7 say.
It's saying, now like he made the firmament and divided the waters which are under the firmament from the waters which are above the firmament, and it was so.
And it was what?
And it was so.
What else?
And Elohim called the firmament Shamaim in the evening and the morning with the second day.
Go ahead.
And Elohim said, let the waters under Shamaim be gathered together unto one place, and let the dry land appear. And it was so. And Elohim called the dry land earth, and the gathering together of the waters called he seas. And Elohim saw that it was good.
So what was, and that's what should have stood out, is the mentioning of the firmament. Now you say the likeness of a firmament was upon the heads of the living creature. So I want you to go back, give them likeness. Upon the heads is going to be remedial, but we're going to read it anyway.
Likeness is the move, likeness or similitude, and the likeness of.
So the likeness or the resemblance of the firmament was upon their heads. So if the likeness of the firmament is upon their heads, what is being communicated? I'll help you out. Go to Revelation 1 and 7. Oh, no. No, this dealing with Ezekiel 1, Monte, that's dealing with his coming. So it's not dealing with his crucifixion. Yeah, Ezekiel 1 in its entirety is the coming of the Lord. That's what they're seeing. You know what I'm saying? So what you're seeing is him actually in the heavens. You know what I'm saying? That's why you see the likeness of the firmament is upon their heads, because they're in the heavens. That's why we read Genesis 1, because it says the waters above the firmament is heaven. The waters under the firmament is earth. What you're seeing is him in between heaven and earth as he's coming back. Let's read Revelation 1 and 7 real quick.
Behold, he come with clouds, and
see, boom. If he coming with clouds, the likeness of the firmament is upon his head. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead.
And every eye shall see him, and they which pierced him, and all kindreds of the earth shall wail because of him. Even so, amen.
No, that's good, because we ain't focusing on the wrath part. It's the aspect of, boom, do me another favor. We end Zechariah. Shalom, Sister Rena. We end Revelation 6, I should say. Go to about verse 15, though.
And the kings of the earth and great men and the rich men and the chief captains and the mighty men.
What they say?
And every bondman and every free man hid themselves in the dens and in the rocks.
And you can read this in Isaiah too, where there are people saying, cover us with the rocks. Go ahead.
It says to the mountains and rocks, fall on us. And
Why?
And hide us from the face of him that sit on the throne.
The face of him that sit on the what?
The throne.
We're going to read that in a moment. Go ahead.
From the wrath of the Lamb.
From the wrath of the who?
Of the Lamb.
What else?
For the great day of his wrath is come. Who shall be able to stand? Who's
going to be able to stand? Remember what we read the other day, last week, about 1 Peter chapter 3? Read it again for him. Say, was it 1 Peter 3 or 1 Peter 4? I think it was 1 Peter 3. Let me make sure. Yeah, 1 Peter chapter 4, verse 17. Listen what it says.
For the time has come that judgment must begin at the house of Elohim. And if it first begin at us, what shall the end of them that obey not the gospel of Elohim? If the righteous scarcely be saved.
If the righteous scarcely be saved.
Where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear?
Where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Do y'all remember what was being communicated in this verse? Keep on going, though.
It said, wherefore let them that suffer according to the will of Elohim commit the keeping of their souls to him and well-doing as unto a faithful creator.
Faithful creator. That man asked a question, though. If the righteous scarcely be saved, where shall the ungodly and the sinner appear? Give them scarcely again in that Greek, man.
That is molis. That is with difficulty or hardly, not easily, scarcely, very rarely.
Difficulty, not easily. And remember, we read to when he say, hey, many will strive to enter into the straight gate and will not be able to do so. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know a lot of people be like, this way is difficult. I'm be honest with you, the way itself is not difficult. But the mindset of the individual trying to walk that way is where the difficulty coming in. You know what I'm talking about? Because the way in and of itself is not difficult because it's making a choice. You know what I'm talking about? And it's making a choice to be steadfast and faithful to the choice that you made. But individuals being steadfast to the choice that they made, that's a different conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times in a lot of situations and circumstances, when things arise that you don't want to deal with, did not mentally or spiritually prepare yourself to deal with, what's happening, Rohan? You might not continue. You know what I'm saying? Like I say, man, when you look on certain things that people say, man, I'll tell you, right, you got people who live their life on the internet, so they have internet conversations, and then you have people who talk to people in real life. And of course, as y'all already know, those conversations are divergent, to say the least. You know what I'm talking about? They're going to be drastically different. And I'm talking about in a multitude of things, man. You know what I'm saying? Because do you hear regular people going back and forth by somebody asking them what they bring to the table or going 50-50? No. Regular people, everyday people don't have these conversations. These are people on the internet who are in general probably miserable. You know what I'm saying? When I say miserable, meaning that thing's probably not going the way that they imagined it or how they would desire it or how they would want it. You know what I'm saying? Or how they envisioned it in their mind. What's going on? So it's difficult for them to continue in a pathway that they said they want to do. You know what I'm saying? This is case in point because this is in my brain at this moment. I didn't watch the Jill Scott Tiny Desk, but you got a certain contingent of women who are upset because her backup singers were men. And they were saying this woman's male-centered. But you don't hear regular, everyday women walk around talking about stop being male-centered. These are only people who are on the internet or women who have been took up and through there by the nigga who they wanted who didn't really want them in the same capacity. You know what I'm saying? Because I guarantee you ain't none of you ladies had no conversation with no women in face-to-face contact where they talking about, oh, girl, you need to stop being male-centered. Because regular people don't talk like that. Now, I mention this because when you deal with certain things as it pertains to the word, everybody tells you how difficult this is. This is what you're going to see people talk about online, but in real life, don't nobody talk about how difficult it is. What people talk about in real life is not that keeping the word difficult, but them doing it is difficult because of the things that they got going on the inside. See, that's what people on the internet, they're not going to mention that. So you'll get that conversation with people in real life. You know what I'm saying? This is why, at least on the church side of things, that most people are accustomed to, this is why most people don't overcome stuff, because they make everything a demon, or they tell you everything is evil. So then you never turn around and face the lust or contrary conduct that's rested in your heart, that you could actually mortify it, correct it, forsake it, and where it no longer have rule over you, and you can move in the way that you want to move. Because I'll be honest with you, whether you're in the word or not, life is difficult, period. You know what I'm saying? You ain't got to be in the word for that, man. You know what I'm saying? I don't know why people think they get in the word and life get harder. Life hard anyway. Like, period, point blank. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mention it. Was like I said, man, we had a rapper in the city. They said, man, just killed himself. And I was having a conversation with this lady today, man, and she was talking about, men be killing themselves because they don't have deep conversations. And like I told you the other day, like, they don't recognize when somebody's suicidal. Man, let me tell you something, man. Because a lot of women talk about that there, man. Let me tell you something. Man, unless you've been trained to be able to recognize the signs of suicide, man, you're not going to know what you're looking at. The average person is, because people just think that suicidal just cross somebody's forehead, man. You know what I'm saying? Or you think you can, let me tell you something real, man. A nigga who really depressed, a nigga who really, really suicidal, or he going to cover it up that good. Well, you not going to know. You know what I'm saying? If you're not trained in that area to recognize, hey, this person has severe depression. I mention this here because, and you might see this more so from women than you hear from men, because men don't necessarily are in tune to paying attention to people that closely to pick up on things. But people be dealing with depression, or people be dealing with this, and you think your friends and family is supposed to pick up on that. And you don't realize your friends and family are not trained professionals to know how to pick up on them signs, to be like, oh, this person is, you'd have to be making a drastic change in your behavior. Like, okay, you used to moving around and doing this here, you in the bed, sleep every day for a week. You know what I'm saying? Something like that. Man, a lot of people who that depressed and that suicidal, well, they're going about living their entire life, smiling, laughing. You ain't going to think nothing normal. You don't think nothing abnormal. It's going to take for you to actually know what you're looking at and realize, hey, boy, something wrong with him. It's something wrong with her. You know what I'm saying? And we don't really be knowing that. And I'm saying it because people be putting burdens on people. You know what I'm saying? That hey, man, that your friends ain't skilled. Your friends are not licensed suicide professionals. You know what I'm saying? They're not clinical therapists to be able to pinpoint that. You know what I'm saying? We think everybody's supposed to be able to pinpoint that, because you know you got a shift in your emotional state, and you expecting somebody to pick up on them clues. Them people got their own stuff going on to be able to recognize that. Everybody not gonna pick that up. Some people can, most people won't. So like you said, unless you've been suicidal, but even people who've been suicidal don't always pick up on it. But they would be more inclined to outside of a trained professional. You know what I'm talking about? So you won't see the zeal conversation happen the same time as the person. That's a true story. You know what I'm saying? And I'm just mentioning that there because that trying to be real though, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm telling like, you can have all the deep, quote unquote, emotional conversations you want to have. Man, you ain't gonna know a nigga want to do something to himself. You know what I'm saying? You really not. Niggas might say, see what it is people will say something in hindsight, you'd be like, damn. You know what I'm saying? But you hear stuff and sometimes you think people just be talking. You know what I'm saying? And things of that nature. You say people get upset or think you acting funny the whole time. You could be depressed. Yeah. I mean, because they're not trained professionals. You know what I'm saying? That's a case in point. And then the person who's depressed may get offended. You know what I'm saying? Or it can send them spiraling because you don't even consider, man, these people are not trained to know that. You know what I'm saying? They're not trained to know that. So they don't know you're depressed. Because I guarantee you right now, out of the 27 people that's on the screen, these 3 grown adults that's in his house, these 5 grown adults that's on his clubhouse, I guarantee you most of you couldn't even name 5 things to be able to identify if somebody was depressed, or 5 things to be able to identify if somebody was suicidal. You know what I'm saying? You wouldn't be able to do it because you don't know. You heard what's happening with you, man? And guess what? You're not supposed to know. Like, just in general, that's not general information. You know what I'm saying? It's not general information. Like I told you, man, my nephew killed himself, man. Cuz didn't really think, it was nothing wrong with him until she learned more about it. She like, okay, the signs was there. Because she didn't know what to look for. She didn't know what to look for. And the average person don't. You know what I'm saying? Because, a lot of people going through it because Jit killed himself, and they be like, why would he do that? Because niggas be looking at the exterior. He got a record deal. You making money. Man, that y'all don't mean nothing to everybody, man. That y'all means something to you because you're driven by that. But this man had that and was still depressed. And you know why that man depressed? Because most people ain't never had to bury 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 childhood friends. You ain't never seen 2 of your friends murdered in your face. And you got shot at the same time. That do something to your brain. Then you go to looking at, I'm getting all this bread, doing all this here. My friends are dead. Yeah, man, that's trying to do something to your mind. Stuff happen to people, man. Their mind be thrown. You know what I'm saying? And then their brain, their thoughts are suffocating them. They be like, man, I don't want to deal with this job no more. Go somewhere and be quiet. And then you say, I can't believe, why would he do that? Because you looking at it from your eyes. That's the number one reason why most people will never be able to spot if somebody's suicidal or depressed. Because you're going to be looking at them through your eyes. Can't do that. You know what I'm saying? You can't do that. Especially if you want to help somebody who's in that position. That's going to be the first mistake you're going to make. Because they not you. And you're not dealing with what they're dealing with. So you're not going to be effective. Because you know what you're going to end up doing? Talking to them in a way that's probably going to reinforce how bad they feel in the first place. Then you got some people who they bipolar, which is even worse. You know what I'm talking about? And for lack of a better terminology, that's somebody who has extreme highs and extreme lows. And when they hit them extreme lows, that suicidal tendencies is high. You know what I'm talking about? And a lot of people think, this nigga's crazy. Nigga got a chemical imbalance in his brain. She said she got diagnosed with major depression disorder. That junk hit different. You know what I'm saying? I didn't mention this stuff because people don't be knowing. That's just because this lady was saying, the same stuff that people be talking about, man. You know what I mean? Always that men friendships ain't this, that, there, and the third. Like women be having these deep, you know what I'm saying? Nah, y'all just talking about your feelings. But most women pressure, a woman's pressure and the man's pressure is not the same. You know what I'm talking about? Because like we've talked about before on numerous occasions, you know what I'm saying? A woman isn't born with the thought process of she has to perform for the entirety of her adult life and that she has to compete for the entirety of her adult life. You know what I'm saying? I know someone's like, people depending on me, but that's once you've had children. You know what I'm saying? But the reality is you didn't have those children with the thought process that the dude was going to leave. You know what I'm saying? No, that ain't what you went into that thinking. You know what I'm saying? Whatever he would leave. She said also PTSD, anxiety, borderline personality disorder, and all those are just chemical imbalances in the brain. You know what I'm saying? And those chemical imbalances could be, genetic or could be triggered for certain life events. Shalom, Brother Robert, man. Say facts, losing my mother was an experience only Elohim got me through, and I could believe it. You know what I'm saying? Especially depending on how old you are. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? But I mean, think of, man, that junk be like, it's good to have people to talk to. But just because somebody your friend don't mean that they have the ability to help you with what you got going on. You know what I'm saying? And I mentioned this here because a lot of women think that if we friends, you should be able to talk to me because you think that you have the ability to handle what's going on. But then the next thing you hear people scream, women scream, I ain't your therapist. This is what they say to a dude. You know why? Because the reality is, as much as women want to act like that they could be able to deal with people's problems, you really can't. You know what I'm saying? I'm talking about real deal problems with some depth. Baby, whether it's man or woman, you don't have the capability or the skills to deal with that. You know what I'm saying? You believe you do because this is what you're lying to, you're telling yourself. You know what I'm talking about? But you really don't. Most men know they don't. You know what I'm saying? But they know that I'm here for you, though. You know what I'm saying? See, what a lot of dudes is we don't got to have no conversations, but I'm here for you, though. If you want to talk, we can talk. If you need my presence, you can have. See, that's something a little different that most men do that because women want to keep talking. It's not a negative thing. It's just how they wired. Depending on the individual, sometimes they don't need nobody to talk. They just need you to be there. You know what I'm saying? Talking really gonna make it worse. See, this is something a professional would know depending on the patient because everybody's different. You can't do everybody the same. You say you almost done with your psychology degree, and my therapist had a therapist. Most therapists have a therapist, to be honest with you, because they're gonna need a therapist to deal with the stuff that they hear from other people. You know what I'm saying? Because that's a lot to carry. And I don't think people be realizing that. You know what I'm saying? When you really dealing with the psychological things that a person is dealing with, you're going to have to talk to somebody because you're doing what the Lord say, come unto me, all you that are heavy laden, I'll give you rest. He said, I'll carry them burdens because he's able to carry them. The average human being can't carry that. You know what I'm saying? This is part of the reason why the book say two's better than one and so on and so forth. Because we don't be really realizing that. You know what I'm saying? I think that's why sometimes a lot of ladies be bitter with their friends because y'all be dropping a lot of emotional stuff on each other and you really can't handle that. You know what I'm saying? And you really get upset at this person. Well, it could be they do too. This is why women be upset about this type of stuff because you say you want vulnerability, you want all that till people start doing it. And then you realize, man, I can't carry this stuff you bringing to me, which ain't really nothing wrong with you not being able to carry what they bringing to you. Because that's a lot of weight to carry on top of whatever you dealing with as an individual. See, that'd be the other part that people don't take into account. You still a human being and you got stuff you dealing with, which is part of the reason why a lot of men don't like to drop stuff on their homeboys like that unless it's critical. Because I already know you carrying a lot. I don't want to add to that. Because end of the day, what that's gonna do. But I'm gonna mention that because man, they damn sure you say at times I'd be depressed and can't tell the signs from someone else. Shoot, I can believe it. I can read you what they say some of the signs is. For both of them. I didn't mention that because Jit killed himself, man. They say he crashed his car on I-85. Yeah, called his I never really listened to Lil Bruh music like that. But they say that the signs of depression and suicide was all in the music, though. I mean, definitely considering what they said, the name of his last album was Almost Normal. That's a clear-cut sign. Something ain't right. Knowing if you know his background. You feel me? Yeah, he wasn't but 25 years old, man. And then they say he called his manager. His manager told him to pull over somewhere. She'll be there. And they were talking through the window, man, and she said, man, that nigga pulled a gun out and shot himself in the head. But this is what they say signs of depression is. Persistent sadness. See, this ain't you just sad. This is sadness over a continual, perpetual period of time. Hopelessness, loss of interest in activities, fatigue, changes in appetite, sleep disturbance, insomnia or oversleeping, difficulty concentrating, lasting at least 2 weeks. These symptoms can cause significant distress or impairment in social work or daily functioning. It says you have a lack of energy, you feel slowed down, you're constantly tired. You have a reduced ability to enjoy hobbies, activities, or sex. Your persistent sad, empty, or anxious mood. You wake up too early. You sleep too much. You can't concentrate or make decisions and you forget things. You have significant weight loss or gain or increased or decreased appetite. You're restless. You pace. Your speech and your movements are slowed down. Your emotional distress, your feelings of worthlessness, guilt, or helplessness. Unexplained headaches, back pains, or digestive issues, or reoccurring thoughts of death and suicide. They say with men, you have often presence with anger, irritability, or risky behavior, or escapist behavior, like spending too much time at work. Say women may experience symptoms related to their menstrual cycle. Now, see if you don't really know that, you're not going to pick up on that. Because you think the small, subtle things that you're not doing, somebody going to pick up on that. Because that's something you have to be around somebody constantly to pick up on that. Because if I don't live with you, I don't know if you ain't sleeping at night. You know what I'm saying? Or you sleeping all day. How am I going to know that? If I ain't with you all the time, how am I going to know your eating habits have changed? You're not really going to know that. And if you don't express your thoughts like that, how I know you feel hopeless and worthless? You're not going to really know that. You know what I'm saying? So that, sometimes people be angry, but they really just be broke. They got some money, they be all right. They really ain't angry for real. Now, this is what they say signs of suicide is. See, they don't really give you nothing. First thing they type in on that one there is help is available. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up now. But they say, obviously a recent suicide attempt is obvious. Increased alcohol or drug use. You lose interest in your personal appearance or hygiene. Where you withdraw from your family, friends, or community. You start saying goodbye to people. You start giving away prized possessions. One of the 5 things is you talking about death or hopelessness. Again, the withdrawing, drastic changes in sleeping and eating, giving away your possessions, saying goodbye, and showing extreme mood shifts or rage, often stemming from unbearable emotional pain, feeling like a burden or intense guilt. And I'm gonna be honest with you. A lot of people who are dead set and serious on doing something to themselves, you ain't gonna pick up on it. You know what I'm saying? You ain't even gonna pick up on it for real. Not till they've been undid it. I guarantee you, I don't think nobody probably picked up on that with Lil Papa. You will when you know what I'm saying, when it's over with. But you're really not gonna pick up on that if you don't know what you're looking at. Hold on 1 second. Where you at, Sibo?
Just read the 1 Peter 4.
You just read who?
1 Peter 4.
And I mentioned that's what I mentioned all that for, because people talk about how difficult it is. Things in and of itself aren't difficult. I mean, they're difficult, but they're not. I mean, they're difficulty in the means of execution. You know what I'm saying? The dedication and consistency it'll take to accomplish something. But a lot of difficulty is just within you. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, the signs of the things that with depression and it come from external things. And I mentioned it too, because this is why the text say those that are strong ought to support the weak. Because sometimes a lot of people don't mention these things because it's probably not as bad in 2026 as it may have been in 1996. You know what I'm saying? You mentioning if you were dealing with those type of things where you would be looked at as weak and what the hell wrong with you. You know what I'm saying? At least with black people, the world is different now. You know what I'm saying? These things are discussed. So that stigma that was back in the days that was there, it ain't really there no more. You know what I'm talking about? A lot of dudes might feel that way, but that's just how men are socialized. You know what I'm saying? We just was telling Muffin this the other day. I'm gonna tell you the biggest thing too. And it might be a small thing, but you can look at it overarching. Because, my mom and auntie told me this all the time. A lot of dudes end up spiraling like that because you've been trained to figure it out. And some things you do need to figure out depending on what it is. You know what I'm saying? But some stuff, hey, man, you need to tell them that you need some help. You know what I'm saying? Straight up and down. Like, man, ain't no shame in that. That trying to figure something out when you know it's somebody who can help you is absolutely retarded. You know what I'm talking about? And it's definitely a false measure of your masculinity. That don't make you more of a man. Nigga, you just wasted time, energy, and emotions when you could have just said, man, I need some help. You know what I'm saying? And see, we look at it like a small thing, but a lot of dudes be going through their life, boy, but you got some things going on in your brain and you need some help. And you don't say nothing. And that's how niggas end up being alcoholics, drug addicts, killing themselves because you needed some help and you ain't say nothing. Because see, a lot of people think it's because men been taught that their emotions are weak, but it's really because you've been told, oh, you a man, you got to figure it out. Some things you do got to figure out, like, hey, you got to, you know what I'm saying? You need to get you some money. Hey, you got to put the plan together. You got to figure that out. But even with that, people still ask for help. Because I'm going to tell you something, man. You can go a little bit of ways by yourself. You can get way more accomplished with some help. So the thought process that you just got to do it yourself is idiotic. You know what I'm saying? It's idiotic. That's literally why human beings are communal people, because they need help. You know what I'm saying? Your God tell you to call on him for help. And niggas still won't do that. You know what I'm talking about? But come on, Zoro.
We go with the 1 Peter 4.
Mm-hmm. I know it'd be hard for people to ask for help because you'd be proud. Not proud in a negative way. But you know what I'm saying? Because especially a lot of men don't want to be no burden. A lot of women don't want to be no burden too, but boy, you gotta ask for help. You gotta put that junk to the side. You know what I'm saying? I think a lot of women be worrying about what other women gonna say about them. Man, don't give a damn what somebody gonna say about you. You better go and get you some help. You know what I'm talking about? Before you, because while you sitting around worrying about this, that, and the third, that junk can been done take you and send you down a road that you might not be able to get off of. Send you down a hole you might not be able to climb out of. And I put it to you this way. If you around people that you got to be worrying about what they gonna say about you if you ask for help, you around the wrong people to begin with. You might need to start I don't give a damn if it's your family or not. Cause nigga crazy as hell, man. You gonna sit around here and drown and all type of things because you don't want to say I need some help. That's stupid. You know what I'm saying? That just don't make no sense. You know what I'm saying? And you gotta cast that stuff aside. That's why I told you it's a lot of stuff that niggas in America do that you got to realize, man, that junk don't work. Leave that junk alone. You ain't got to keep doing it because a bunch of niggas, you see it ain't work for them. Why would you keep on doing it? People do that junk is dumb. It's dumb. It don't make sense. You know what I'm saying? I was telling the other day, like it's certain stuff Joanne might do, like, man, you have to slow your brain down. Like, nigga, that's a 3-year-old and a girl. You know what she gonna do? Be emotional. You know what you gotta let her do? Go ahead and get them emotions out. But you know what you have to be able to do? Not be frustrated because a 3-year-old cannot emotionally regulate themselves. Why are you expecting a toddler to have the ability to emotionally regulate themselves? Why do you have that expectation? Why is that even frustrating you that you frustrated that a toddler don't have that ability? What is wrong with you? Because that means you don't have any emotional regulation. You know what I'm saying? And now you're taking that out on the child because they can't do what you can't do. And the sad part is you can't see God flowing a mirror in your face that you're a hypocrite, that you'll go off on this baby and yell at this baby and pop this baby and do all this other stuff, and you can't even do it yourself. That's what I meant when I told y'all last week. Why is y'all getting frustrated? What are you expecting from these children? Why are you expecting adult conduct and interaction from a toddler? From an 8-year-old? Hell, from a 13-year-old? From a 16-year-old? Why are you expecting them to do what you think they should be doing? They're not grown. They're not adults. They're actually learning an environment and figuring out their place and how to interact with said environment, but you just don't want to deal with it. Now imagine if your God in heaven felt that way. Because you know what that song says, Stevie. You know what he say? Elohim knoweth your frame, but you are but dust. And he has pity on you like a father has pity to his own son. So if God telling you, I know your frame, and you but dust, but I can have compassion on you because I know you're not going to do what I do. And you're not going to move how I move. And I got to have that type of compassion to guide you to become who it is that I want you to become and move the way that I want you to move. Imagine if this man just brought judgment and wrath on your head because he got frustrated because you ain't doing what he felt like you should be doing. But this is what we do to children, man. Your God don't even raise his own children like that, which is you. My God today. Let me find that verse. Go to Psalms 103. Give me verse 10.
He hath not dealt with us after our sins, nor rewarded us according to our iniquities.
He did what?
Dealt with us after our sins, nor rewarded us according to our iniquities.
Hold on one more time, man. I don't think they heard that.
So he have not dealt with us after our sins, nor rewarded us according to our iniquities.
What else?
For Hashemayim is high above the earth, so great is his mercy toward them that fear him.
So say, read that again. What does it?
For Hashemayim is high above the earth, so great is his mercy toward them that fear him.
What the next thing he say?
As far as the east is from the west, so far have he removed our transgressions from us.
Praise God.
Like as a father pity his children.
Like a father pity his children.
So you will pity them that fear him.
My God.
For he know our frame. He remember that we are dust.
He remember that we are what?
Are dust.
Now go read 1 Corinthians 15 and 44. If he remember you but dust, and look at how Paul put it. We read it the other day. We read it again.
It is sown a natural body. It is raised a spiritual body. There's a natural body and there's a spiritual body. So it is written, the first man Adam was made a living soul. The last Adam was made a quickening ruach.
What up?
Howbeit that was not first, which is spiritual, but that which is natural.
So if he know that your frame is but dust, he know you but natural. So that guess what that means? You're going to have natural inclinations. He already know this. This is why the writer of the Hebrews wrote, who can have compassion on those who are ignorant and out of the way. See, I'm only mentioning this here because he told you to be you perfect like your Father in heaven is perfect. And to be merciful like your Father in heaven is merciful. And if he just told you that I pity them as a father pitieth his own son, because I know your frame, but he telling you I'm going to interact with you the same way a father would interact with your son, then you should interact with your children in the same fashion. Because there's no way you should be expecting adult conduct from a child. The same way when the gospel first get brought to you, you think your Father in heaven, you think Yahushua expecting son and daughter of God behavior from you first quarter? You think that's what he expect? He thinking you thinking this man expecting you to be 100% godly off the dribble? Like from the tap, my nigga? Like, come on, man. That's not even plausible, bro. So you had to take that, so you take that same mind frame when you're dealing with your offspring. You finna go off on this 5-year-old cuz? Because they did what a 5-year-old do? What did you expect a 5-year-old to do? To be a 30-year-old? Then I would have to look at you and say, what's wrong with your mental state that you think like that? That you're expecting adult conduct from a child who's not even an adult, don't even know what an adult look like. Don't even understand adult responsibilities or interactions or anything of the sort. You know what they understand? Play. Do they know right from wrong? Do they know when they're doing stuff? Of course they do. But that's when stuff comes down to just giving instruction. But also, which of course this is not a 1-for-1 equivalent. We know what 2 Samuel 23 say. You know what it say? He that ruleth amongst men must be what, Sibby? Got to be righteous. So, okay, you a man, you ruling over this child. You know, for a woman to a certain extent, you ruling over this child. Man, you got to do that righteously, man. And you can't allow your emotions and frustrations or whatever you got going on to influence how you speak or interact or deal with this child. Because they're a child. You know what children do? Usually stuff that they're not supposed to, or they do stuff that they're unaccustomed to. Remember, I told you before and move on. Yeah, I say this because I just hit. Because this one thing niggas do that I never understood. I ain't never liked. You helping a child with schoolwork and yelling, screaming, and threatening them with violence because they don't do it right. Nigga, how am I supposed to learn under duress? And you know why you doing that? Because you don't know what you're doing. So you frustrated with them because you don't know what to do. You know what I'm saying? Or you just don't want to take the time to show them how to do it because you want to go do something else. And the thing is, I mention this here because as a child, children pick up on that you don't really fool with me like that. You know what I'm saying? That every single solitary thing that I do, it brings forth words that are laced and tingled with disdain or irritation. You know what I'm saying? Your interaction with me is laced with irritation and get away from me because everything I do is met with a terse response. Like they pick up on that. And as they get older, they realize like, hey man, these people don't fool with me like that. And then that junk could just bring forth all type of, you know what I'm saying? Stuff like, see, I'm not talking about being strict. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a difference. These are the rules. These are the boundaries. This is the structure. This is what you do. This is how you do it. And I'm going to teach you how to do it. And you know what I'm saying? And then say you heard a lot of that. Listen, man, I'm children, I watch you gotta watch how you talk to them children, man. You framing their whole self-view on how you talk to them, man. Because it usually don't be the words that you're saying, it's how you saying it to them. It frames the whole way they view themselves. But you got to really be more dedicated to taking the time to teach. You know what I'm saying? And taking the time to teach means you set your feelings to the side. Because at the end of the day, you had this job, you had this child. That means the Father above has given you a sacred responsibility. That sacred responsibility that he's taken a spirit of his, caused that to be placed inside of a body that's fashioned inside this woman's womb that will soon be expelled. And he's giving you the gift of the responsibility of bringing them up to adulthood. You know what I'm saying? Because I told you before, memory is cool, experience is cool, all that stuff cool. But at the end of the day, that's not what you have a child for, my nigga. That junk is really taking this. You actually have been entrusted with a mind. A mind. See, I ain't just talking about with your flesh and blood churn too. I'm talking about even with the word, man, you've been trusted with a mind. So that's a sacred responsibility that you have to take the time to instruct, to fashion this mind to be prepared for the day when they become a full age. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah, that's a sacred responsibility, my nigga. That junk ain't about making them get fresh. That junk ain't about taking them on trips. And all that junk don't mean a goddamn thing. Because they could be fresh and you could take them everywhere. When they become an adult, they're going to fail. You know what I'm saying? Like I told Muffin this other day, because she don't know no better because she a child. But you know, little boys, a lot of time, women make the biggest mistake with little boys. They do everything for them. You know what I'm saying? Everything for him. What ends up happening when he become a man, he gonna be looking for a woman to do everything for him. You know what I'm saying? So when this little boy get upset, he like the throw stuff. You know what I'm saying? Grab stuff. So he grabbed them mats. He flip them over. You upset? I don't care nothing about that. You upset? Go on, get it off your chest. But you gonna put them goddamn mats back though. So he being hard-headed. He don't want to put them back. She go to want to fix them for him. I say, you will not. Now, in her brain, she can't understand why I'm stopping her. I got to explain that to you later. I had to tell him, you see these dinosaurs on this floor, boy? They going in the trash can. You don't put the mats up. You know what he did? He went and picked the mats up. I ain't got the yell and scream at you. I ain't got to hit you because, see, I know what your whole deal is, boy. I know what you like. You know what I'm saying? But I had to let her know, if you would have went over there and did that for him, you really hamstrunging him. Because you know what you just told him? I can get upset, I can tear something up, and somebody else will come pick that up for me. And if you constantly do that for a boy over and over and over and over and over again, when he become a man, he's going to look for everybody to do that. When you got a little boy and because you know a lot of women, you be hard on them girls and you be soft on them boys, and then some fathers do on the opposite. You let that boy get away with stuff. That's how little boys grow up to be entitled. That's how some little boys grow up to be sexual offenders, because there was never a consequence for him. He could always abscond. He could always get out the way. Nah, you ain't finna get out the way. See, I don't play no game. I don't show no favor to none of them. I ain't with none of them. You know what I'm talking about? Boy or girl, don't care. It's equal weights and measures in this hole. You know what I'm talking about? I'm going to render judgment straight on down the line because I ain't playing with you, because you're not going to grow up and be an adult and have an improper way of thinking. Shalom, brother Saul. I ain't with it. You know what I'm saying? I'm not with it. He said, and it grows to resentment. Then when they get older, they don't want to take care of their parents. Indeed. Or they don't come see you. Or they don't want to come talk to you. Or they don't let their grandchildren come see you. All that stuff start playing into the role, man. I'm trying to remember that. You remember that, John, man? That John's serious, my nigga. And I'm mentioning this here because your God don't do this. You know what I'm saying? I told you before, this is my personal opinion, that a lot of times, sometimes your children are just children. And sometimes how your children behave is a reflection of how you behave to your Father in heaven. And he wants you to pick up on that. Like I said to Jose, he said, I won't punish you because you separated with whores. You know what I'm talking about? I made that mention that they didn't even peep the play, that your women acting like this because you act like this with your God. I want you to see what that looked like in real time. And then sometimes your kids just kids. You know what I'm saying? You just got to know your personality. Sometimes your kids are you. You know what I'm saying? See, Boo get frustrated because she ain't hard headed like that. See, I know how they is. They stubborn. You know what I'm saying? Now they a little different because I ain't play a lot. They be thinking somebody playing all the time. See, right now he wouldn't play. You know what I'm saying? I ain't on that. But you just gotta learn them and then deal with them. That's what your God do. Come on, Zivo.
Go to 1 Corinthians 15.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now, I just wanted you to see the contrast where he say, I know your frame, but you are but dust. So if he's telling you that, hey, the first man of the earth was earthy, he already know how I got to deal with you. I can't expect you to be like these Malachim because you're not a Ruach. You know what I'm saying? Which is why the Lord came back later and told you, Elohim is a Ruach. Everyone who serve him got to worship him in Ruach and in truth. And that's why you got to be born again. Though that you might have the image of the earthly, but you have the mind of the Ruach. So therefore you move, behave, and live differently. Even though you contained in this natural body. You feel me? That way you can be more congruent to being aligned with his will. But you know what I'm saying? That Psalms is here because he said, I have compassion on you like a father to his son. Because I know your frame. Like I say, and that's probably this continuation we mentioned the other day. Like, you're dealing with patience. It ain't really that you're impatient with that child. You're impatient with yourself. And you taking that out on that child. You know what I'm saying? Because it's not how you lose patience with a 3-year-old. With a 2-year-old. Unless you have unreasonable expectations of the level of conduct that you expecting from a nigga who do on himself. Can you really have high expectations for somebody who defecate on themselves? Because I can't. You know what I'm saying? It's just like I know when it's time for that boy to get potty trained, he probably gonna wipe boo-boo on the wall, pee on the floor. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's to be expected. See, this one here different. She want to be a gangster and a little girl at the same time. You can't be both. Come on, Zillow. Come here, Joanne. Come here, Joanne. See, she want to play. She thinks somebody playing. What we reading from? Come here, Joanne. Then go to bed then. Go ahead.
The last thing was Revelation 6 and 15, 1 and 7.
Yeah, he did that. You can go back to verse 2 in Revelation 6. Oh, no, we in Ezekiel 1. Ezekiel 1 and 22. I just wanted y'all to see that verse 22. You can read it again. It's the him being in between the heaven and the earth. Same way you seen that with the ephod. Zechariah 5.
And the likeness of the firmament upon the heads of the living creatures was as the color of the terrible crystal stretched forth from over their heads above, and under the firmament were their wings straight, one toward the other. Everyone had two, which covered on this side, and everyone had two, which covered on that side, their body. And then when they went, I heard the noise of their wings. Like the noise of what? A great water. As the voice of the Almighty. The voice of speech. As the noise. Of the host, and when they stood. They let down their wings. So if you hear the voice of the Almighty, that take us back to what we were talking about, last week or the week before. And there was a great shout. Continue. And there was a voice from the firmament that was over their heads when they stood and had let down their wings. So listen, if there's a voice over the firmament, from the firmament that was over their heads, they hearing a voice from heaven. Meaning he's above the firmament. You know what I'm saying? Or he's in the heavens. This is what they're hearing. Listen what he say after that. And above. The firmament that was over their heads was the likeness of a throne. As the appearance of a sapphire stone. And upon the likeness, the throne, the likeness, as the appearance of man above upon it. And I saw the color of amber. And as the appearance, a fire round about within it, from the appearance of his loins even upward. And upward. And from the appearance of his loins even downward. And I saw, as it were the appearance of fire. And it had brightness round about it. As the appearance of a what? The bow that is in a cloud in the day of rain.
So was the appearance.
The brightness round about.
This was the appearance.
The likeness of the esteem of Yahuwah.
The likeness of the what?
The esteem of Yahuwah.
And when I saw it,
I fell upon my face.
Now read them likeness again in that passage, man. Because it said this is in the likeness of the esteem of Yahuwah.
That's the move, the likeness, similitude, and the likeness of.
In the likeness of, right? Check the flyness, what we finna do with this now. So now I need you to go to John 14:4. You know what I'm talking about? And after that, I need you to go to John 17:1. So you can see this Yahushua who's sitting on the throne. Because it didn't say that I saw the appearance of the glory of Yahuwah. It said of the likeness. And what was likeness mean? Meaning similitude or resemblance. Okay, John 14:4.
And where I go, you know, and the way you know.
Mm-hmm.
Thomas said unto him, Lord, we know not where you go, and how can we know the way?
How can we know the way?
Yahushua said unto him, I am the way, the truth, and the life.
Any?
No man come unto the Abba but by me.
That's right.
If you had known me, you would have known my Abba also.
Why is that, Lord?
From henceforth you know him and have seen him.
You seen him. Why is that, Lord?
Philip said unto him, Lord, show us the Abba, and it suffices. Yahushua said unto him,
how long?
Have I been so long time with you, and yet have you not known me, Philip? He that have seen me have seen the Abba. And how say you then, show us the Abba? Believe you not that I am in the Abba, and the Abba in me?
That mean I'm in his likeness.
The words that I speak unto you, I speak not of myself, but the Abba that dwell in me, he do the works.
Come on and read him John 17:1.
These words spake Yahushua, and lifted up his eyes to Shamim and said,
What he said?
Abba, the hour is come, esteem your son, that your son also may esteem you. You have given him power over all flesh, that he should give eternal life, to as many as you have given him.
Go ahead.
And this is life eternal, that they might know you, the only true Elohim, Yahushua Mashiach, whom you have sent.
That's right.
I have esteemed you on the earth. I have finished the work which you gave me to do.
And now,
O Abba, esteem you me with your own self, with the esteem which I had with you before the world was.
Let me get that glory I had. You know what I'm saying? So now as we see this, we can see that clearly this the Lord coming back. You feel me? So now I want you to come back to Revelation 6. He saw the bright. Now some people be like, hey, this stuff has already happened. Woo, woo, woo. Well, if something like that happened and that wasn't recorded in human history, because that would have been a sight to see. You understand? But let's read Revelation 6:2 one more time. And I'm just mentioning that because just adding some more stuff different than we talk about with that white horse. The fourth is conquering, because we talked about that before, in Revelation 14, Joel 3 with the sickle, stuff like that. We don't really want to focus on the wrath aspect, but it is what it is. And then you can give them the definition of conquering one more time after you read verse 2 of Zechariah 6.
It's saying, I saw and behold a white horse, and he that sat on him had a bow, and a crown was given unto him, and he went forth conquering and to conquer. And
after that, we got to go back to Zechariah 9.
Conquering is Nikao, to conquer, to carry off the victory, to come off victorious.
He coming to be victorious. Back to Zechariah 9:5. Hey, Dwayne Jamal. No, sir. Dwayne Jamal. This boy think he a T-Rex, man. Go ahead.
Say, Ashkelon shall see it and fear. Gaza also shall see it and be very sorrowful. And
that's why we read the Ezekiel 1, because he said that they're going to see this in fear. That's why I said the nations will wail because of them. Because what you read in Ezekiel 1 is a sight that definitely make you scream and holler. Go ahead.
You say, for her expectation shall be ashamed, and the king shall perish from Gaza, and Ashkelon shall not be inhabited.
Not be inhabited.
And the bastard shall dwell in Ashdod, and I will cut off the pride of the Philistines. I will take away his blood out of his mouth, and his abominations from between his teeth. But he that remain, even he shall be for our Elohim. He shall be as a governor in Yehuda, and Ekron as a Jebusite.
That's right.
And I will encamp about my house because of the army, because of him that passed by, and because of him that returned. And no oppressor shall pass through them anymore. For now have I seen with my eyes. Rejoice greatly, O daughter of Zion.
Hey, be quiet.
Shout, O daughter of Jerusalem, behold, the king come unto you. He is just and having salvation, lowly, and riding upon an ass, and upon a colt.
We didn't come here for that part. We came for what we read before and what's coming after it. Go ahead.
And I will cut off the chariot from Ephraim, and the horse from Jerusalem, and the battle bow shall be cut off. He shall speak shalom unto the heathen.
That's right.
And his dominion shall be from sea even to sea.
See, if it's dominion from sea to sea, what that is, that's conquering. Go ahead.
And from the river even to the ends of the earth.
What else?
As for you also, by the blood of your covenant, I have sent forth your prisoners out of the pit.
Where there is no water.
Turn you to the stronghold, you prisoners of hope. Even today do I declare that I'll render double unto you.
I'll give you double.
When I have bent Yehuda for me, filled the bow with Ephraim, and raised up your sons, O Zion, against your sons, O Greece, and made you as the sword of a mighty man.
Again, he talking about conquering again. And he talking about going to war with these people. Go ahead.
And Yahuwah shall be seen over them, and his arrow shall go forth as lightning.
Uh-oh.
And then Yahuwah Elohim shall blow the trumpet, it shall go with the whirlwinds of the south.
He gonna blow the what, Sibo?
The trumpet.
And he gonna come with the what?
Whirlwinds.
He said in the latter days about that whirlwind, you'll consider it perfectly. Go ahead.
Yahuwah of hosts shall defend them. They shall devour and subdue with sling stones. They shall drink and make a noise as through wine, and they shall be filled like bowls, and as the corners of the altar. Yahuwah their Elohim shall save them in that day as the flock of his people, for they shall be as the stones of a crown, lifted up as an ensign upon his land. For how great is his goodness, and how great is his beauty. Corn shall make the young men cheerful.
That's right.
And new wine the maids.
Now you're going to rejoice because of you seeing what he done came through here and worked. Shalom, Brother Harrison, man. So come on back to Revelation 6, man. We in verse 3. Dwayne Jamal. Cut it out. See, so that's his thing. See, he going to make me drop it. And see, he think he a man already. But you ain't no man yet, boy. Hey, cut it out. Don't make me get up, boy.
And when he had opened the second seal, I heard the second beast say, "Come and see."
And there went out another horse.
That was red.
Now we read about the red horse, right? What happened with him?
And power was given to him that sat on thereon to take peace from the earth.
And they that should what?
Kill one another.
And they should what?
And there was given unto him a great sword.
Now pause. So we read some of this stuff previously, but come over here to Isaiah 24 and let's look at him taking peace from the earth. Pick it up at verse 1. And they should do what, Sibo? Kill one another. See, that part of that, wars and rumors of wars. We read about that in Jeremiah 51 a little bit. You know what I'm saying? Nation against nation. That's that same red horse that we read about in Zechariah. Revelation just giving more detail. This horse here going to take peace away from the earth. Everybody going to fight and kill each other. Come on with it, man.
Say, behold, Yahuwah will make the earth empty and make it waste and turn it upside down.
Turn it upside down.
And scatter abroad the inhabitants thereof. And it shall be as with the people, so with the priest. As with the servant, so with his master.
That's
as
right.
With the maid, so with her mistress. As with the buyer, so with the seller. As with the lender, so with the borrower.
That's right.
As with the taker of usury, so with the giver of usury to him. The land shall be utterly empty, utterly spoiled, for Yahuwah have spoken this word.
Spoken it. And we read some of this about this in Isaiah 13 also. Go ahead.
The earth mourn and fade away. The
wow.
languish and fade away.
What
the people of the earth do languish. The earth also is defiled under the inhabitants thereof.
Wow.
They have transgressed the laws
and changed
the ordinance
and broken.
The everlasting
therefore what?
Have the curse devoured the earth.
And pause. What's this curse that's devouring the earth, y'all? What's this curse that's devouring the earth that you talking about? You can give him curse by definition right there. What's this curse that's devouring the earth?
That is Allah. Oath of covenant or curse.
The oath of a covenant or a curse. Now, there's about two ways you can answer this. Let me see which ways you choose. Civil man, I'm going to have to get StreamYard. I got an experiment. I'm going to tell you about it later. I'm going to run an experiment one day. See if niggas going to be willing. I put my money on that they not. It's free too. It's just putting that junk on there and using it. Nah, that's what it is. I think you gotta have streaming software.
I'll to run it.
No, I ain't got streaming software on here. Cause when Mike used to run the camera, he had the streaming thing set up that you got. Cause you stream with YouTube. But if you want to stream you using another camera or use StreamYard, you got to put, I forgot what that junk called, but you got to use that. What's the curse, y'all? What curse he talking about that's devoured the earth? Y'all mighty quiet. Y'all sleeping. What's it going on, Civic? They need some coffee? It's late. Civic, you be out here drinking coffee? Shoot, I ain't gonna lie to you. You better off drinking coffee than drinking them energy drinks. I ain't gonna tell you no lie. I think them energy drinks and them pre-workout mess with niggas' kidneys. I've seen people talk about it. I don't know if they got no Genesis 3 curse. You say judgment, you got to be specific, Barry, in what judgment you talking about, because that's broad. I don't know if people got definitive research about that, but I do think them energy drinks messing with a nigga kidney though. Just get you some straight black coffee, man. I ain't gonna never use it because I ain't gonna drink no coffee. I don't drink no energy drinks either, and I don't take no pre-workout. Human sins, that's still kind of broad, Barry. Now, Dre here said, man, the Genesis 3 curse. Read the definition of curse for him one more time.
That's all out. You got oath of covenant, or you got curse from Elohim. You got a curse from men. You got execration.
Now you got a curse from men. Now also you take into account Genesis 3 was 2 answers, right? Well, that was one of them. See, verse 5 is again, and this is just an example of looking at things in context of what you read. You feel me? Because what he just read, what you read in verse 5, he say, what the earth done did, transgressed the law, changed the ordinances, broken the everlasting covenant. But see, we're going to take it a step further. When you read in Genesis 6, what he said in there? You all right, Booster? What did he say was going on in the earth? Men corrupted the way of Yahuwah on the earth. It was violence on the earth. He flooded it. It brought a curse. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, you could look at the oath of the covenant and what you see in Deuteronomy 27, Deuteronomy 28. You know what I'm saying? Leviticus 26. No, it's two things. You know, maybe 3, since we know, because you could look at Genesis 6 as something separate from that. You feel me? You know what I'm saying? Nevertheless, is that why he say he's going to destroy those that destroy the earth? Yeah, because you see, we look at it as destroying the earth as you litter it or pollution. Now, you destroying the earth because you spilling innocent blood on the earth. You're destroying the earth because you're defiling it. And how are you defiling it? Because you're rebelling against his instructions, you're changing the ordinances, and then you're breaking the everlasting covenant. And then when you sit back and you look at curse, meaning the break of the oath of the covenant, well, you're breaking the contract God done made with you. Oh my God, today. So of course, that's where your Genesis 3 curse gonna come in, because that's where death gonna come in. You know what I'm saying? He said that's another way where he told the end from the beginning of Genesis 6. Yeah, you know, just that time he used water, next time he using fire. You know what I'm saying? Which is part of the boat above the throne. You know what I'm saying? There's a remembrance. I ain't gonna flood you, but so I'm gonna burn you. If I burn them, you don't know nothing about that song. Come here, Boopster. You all right? You all right? You want to sit down? Where you want to sit down at? Why you want to sit over there? Why you want to sit over there? You want to sit with Uncle Civic? You want to sit with your daddy? Come on. Go ahead.
So therefore hath the curse devoured the earth, and they that dwell therein are desolate. Therefore the inhabitants of the earth are burned, and few men left.
Pause. And that's what we get in at, especially lining it up with Genesis 6. You know what I'm saying? Go read me Genesis 6 and 5 real quick.
And Elohim saw that the wickedness of man was great in the earth, and that every imagination of the thoughts of his heart was only evil continually. And repented Yahuwah that he had made man on the earth, and it grieved him at his heart.
Go ahead.
Yahuwah said, I will destroy man whom I have created from the face of the earth, both man and beast, and the creeping thing, and the fowls of the air, for repent me that I have made them.
Go ahead.
But Noah found grace in the eyes of Yahuwah. And these are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man, perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with Elohim.
Mm-hmm.
And Noah begat 3 sons, Shem, Ham, and Japheth. The earth also was corrupt before Elohim,
Don't put that in
and
your
the earth was filled with violence.
Earth was filled with what?
With violence.
Go ahead.
And Elohim looked upon the earth, and behold, it was corrupt. For all flesh had corrupted his way upon the earth.
Give him violence and corrupt.
Violence is kamas, violence, wrong, cruelty, injustice.
Injustice. See, that's not just violence like, killing people. It's injustice in the earth. It's cruelty in the earth, which is contrary to Yahuwah. Go ahead. And then corrupt. They corrupted the Darak, or the way of living of Yahuwah on the earth.
Corrupted is shakath, to destroy, corrupt, to go to ruin, to decay.
They done brought to ruin the way. Let's read Isaiah 35:5 just for the way on general principle. Don't put that in your ear before you get it in that stuck, because that's not supposed to be in your ear. It's going to hurt your ear. Then you're not going to be able to hear.
Then the eyes of the blind shall be opened, and the ears of the deaf shall be unstopped. Then shall the lame man leap as a hart, and the tongue of the dumb sing. For in the wilderness shall waters break out, and streams in the desert. And the parched ground shall become a pool, the thirsty land springs of water. And the habitation of dragons, where each lay shall be grass with reeds and rushes. And the highway shall be there, and a way.
And a way.
And it shall be called the way of Kadash. The unclean shall not pass over it, but it shall be for those, the wayfaring man, though fools shall not err therein.
Tell them what a wayfaring man is. Fools won't get in there.
That is halak. That is to walk.
So if it's men that walk, it's men who walk the way of God on the earth. He say, but the unclean and fools, they can't walk that set apart way. Which is going back, he say, if the righteous, how difficult it is. Because you're going to have to enter into that straight gate, that narrow path. That furnace of affliction, if you would. Come on back to Isaiah 24. I think I got everything we need out of that. You in verse 7.
The new wine mourn, the vine languish, as all the merry-hearted do sigh.
The mirth
of tabrets cease.
The noise
of them that rejoice end. The joy of the harp cease.
They shall not
drink wine with a song.
Strong drink
shall be bitter to them that drink it.
The city of confusion
is broken down. Every house is shut up.
That no man
may come in.
There's a crime.
For wine in the streets.
All the joy is what?
It's darkened. The mirth of the land is gone.
The city is left.
Desolation, and the gate is smitten with destruction.
When thus it shall be in the midst
of the land among the people,
a shaking of an
olive tree, and as a gleaning grapes when the vintage is done. They shall lift up their voice, they shall sing for the majesty of Yahuwah, they shall cry aloud from the sea.
Pause. Johnny says that straight gate the same as walking with God, like the testimony of Noah had. Go to Matthew 7 and 13, whatever verse it is. You can just read it and then give them a definition of a straight gate.
Say, enter you in at the straight gate.
What verse that is?
That's verse 13.
Matthew 7 and 13.
Say, enter you in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leads to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat.
Go on, give them straight gate, but definitely get down.
Straight is stenos, narrow, straight.
It's narrow. It's straight. Now, of course, in Hebrew, straight is going to reference distress, but it's a narrow path. Now, when you look at Noah walk with God, go back and read in Genesis 6 and 9. What's wrong? You sleeping? Boop. You sleeping? Go lay down. Genesis 6 and 9.
These are the generations of Noah. Noah was a just man and perfect in his generations, and Noah walked with Elohim.
Go and give him walk. Should be halak again.
Yeah, to go, walk, to come.
So in this instance, like with Noah, he walking with God. You look at it. It's a narrow pathway because it's tight. The same way when you look at when Balaam is coming in on the donkey, and he's coming in the straits because it's tight. This Proverbs say, man, don't look to the left hand nor to the right, but keep it straight. Read that for him, man. Proverbs 4 and what it is, 18.
But the path of the just is as a shining light that
That's
shine
right.
more unto the perfect day.
Come on.
The way of the wicked is as darkness.
It's
They
dark.
know not at what they stumble.
So
my
dark.
son, attend to my words, incline your ears into my sayings.
That's right.
Let them not depart from your eyes, keep them in the midst of your heart.
That's right.
For they are life unto those that find them, and health to all their flesh.
That's right.
Keep your heart with all diligence, for out of it are the issues of life.
That's right.
Put away from you a froward mouth, and perverse lips put far from you.
That's right.
Let your eyes look right on.
Let your eyes look where?
Look right on.
What else?
Let your eyelids look straight before you.
Look where?
Straight before you.
Why?
Ponder the path of your feet, and let all your ways be established. Turn not to the right hand,
nor to the
left. Remove your foot from evil.
And that's what it's talking about, keeping it straight ahead, which is almost akin to what we were talking about with Lot's wife. Stay straight ahead. And no need of looking back. Don't go to the left. Don't go to the right. Ponder your feet. Keep it straight. And that's what makes it difficult, because we have the tendency to, instead of having tunnel vision and just marching straight ahead, you want to go on side quests or you want to go back. You know what I'm saying? That's why we talked about that the other week. Got to lay aside the sin and the weight that's stopping you so you can run the race with patience. Because as extreme as this may sound, it's really just as simple as putting it down. As extreme as this may sound, it's really simple as forward straight ahead. Stop worrying about what's over there. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Stop worrying about what's over there. That ain't got nothing to do with you. Stop worrying about what's behind you. It's behind you for a reason, because you're past it. This is why a lot of people get upset with you when you leave them behind, because a lot of people want you to look back. So, theoretically, looking back is simply as, you used to smoke, come back and smoke. You used to do this, we used to do that. That's what people want you to do. They want you to return to your vomit. That's why Peter said they speak ill of you when you used to do this. Go read that for him, man. First Peter chapter 4, man. You can pick it up at verse 1. Verse 1 ain't what I want, but you can read it up, man. I ain't gonna hurt nobody.
For as much then as Mashiach have suffered for us in the flesh, arm yourselves likewise with the same mind.
Come on.
For he that hath suffered in the flesh hath ceased from sin.
That's right.
That he no longer shall live the rest of his time in the flesh to the lust of men,
but to the
will of Elohim.
See, that's the thing, that when looking back, that's what people want you to do. They want you to live your life to the desires of men. I think we talked about that last week or the week before, when they say you can't love not the world, because the love of the world is the lust of the eyes and the lust of the flesh and the pride of life, and that's not of your Abba, that's of the world. And remember, the world is hostile to the cause of God, because that's all that means. Something's of the world, that means it's hostile to the will of Elohim. I mean, it's got hatred for it. It's got animosity towards it. Like I seen a brother today, or the other day, he was like, he said a lot of men got the Jezebel spirit too. You's a goofy. You know what I'm saying? But it ain't your fault you's a goofy. Because everybody tell you that the Jezebel spirit is a whole bunch of things. But I'm going to ask y'all this question before I read it off this paper. What is the Jezebel spirit? What does it look like? What does Jezebel do? Because it should be it should be one thing said by everybody. Explicit, that's it. She's an idolater. And through her idolatry, you know what she got hatred for? The cause of God. So therefore, she hate the servants of God. She hate the prophets of God. She hate the preachers of God. And you know what she aimed to do to them? Destroy them. No, I can't. I can understand why you would say Jezebel's rebellious, but Jezebel isn't rebellious. Jezebel served Baal. So she could never rebel against Yahuwah, because she never served Yahuwah to begin with. You know what I'm talking about? But I do understand why you would say that, because that's the common theme, that what they tell you about a Jezebel, she's a whore, or she's rebellious, or she's proud. Man, woman was an idolater. And her whole mission was to convince other people to worship idols. And then she hated the prophets of God. She was slaughtering them. You know what I'm talking about? And how we know she was hostile to the cause of God, because we didn't talk about that plenty of time. When Ahab wanted that vineyard and Naboth wouldn't sell it to him, Ahab knew, regardless if he was the king or not, he could not remove his neighbor's landmark. He knew he can't do that. That's an abomination, and you cursed, according to Deuteronomy 27, if you do that. But see, because Jezebel had no fear of God, no love for God, no covenant with God, she didn't have a problem getting false witnesses, men of Belial specifically, to bear false witness against this man. She had no problem with that. See, we were talking about this the other day too, right? Because we were talking about Jesse Jackson, man, and about how people believe he had something to do with Martin Luther King being murdered. And you know what people like to scream, where the evidence at? I say, man, for some, the evidence is simply the men who were there. And you know what a lot of brews be like, I need to see evidence. Let me tell y'all something, man. Because I don't know where people think that you got to have, concrete evidence of everything. Because you should know your law, man. Your law say the mouth of 2 or 3 witnesses get you killed. Let me tell you something. I wouldn't try for sale of cocaine. Let me tell you something real, man. They ain't have me on videotape serving them people. They ain't have me on audio tape agreeing to serve these people. They ain't have no money that they gave me. They ain't had none of that. They didn't have no photographs of me serving them. You know what got me convicted? That detective got on the stand and say that nigga sold me some dope. Straight up. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all it takes. You know what they had me on video, on audio tape saying? That man say, what kind of jersey that is? I say, man, that's a Michigan jersey. That's what they had on the tape. I'm not exaggerating you know what I'm saying? None of that. That's literally what he said, because I literally had on an authentic 2004 Michigan Steve Preston jersey. And his name wasn't on the back because they ain't do that then. Literally, number 15, man, screen printed. Because Michigan ain't had no stitch numbers back then, if you know that. That's just to let you know I've been wearing Michigan jerseys for a long time. Because outside of Florida State, I like Michigan. That's just me. That's literally what I had on that day, man. I had an authentic Michigan jersey on. Now, did I serve them people? I damn sure did. You know what I'm talking about? But they ain't had no evidence to prove that I served them. But you know the only evidence they needed was eyewitness testimony. Because we be thinking like, oh, they need this, a murder weapon. They need this. It helps strengthen the case. But they don't need that, though. You can definitely go to prison because a nigga said you did something. And of course, in our law, you definitely can be stoned because somebody said you did it. You know what I'm talking about? Straight up. That's why he told you, don't bear false witness on your neighbor, because what you sought to do to them, that's going to be done to you. You say sometimes read between the lines as well. Yeah, man, I'm trying to tell you. Come over here to Kings, man. I want y'all to see what type of woman Jezebel is if you done forgot. What is it, 1 Kings 17? No, it ain't 17. Might get a little bit earlier than that, man. No. Let me get around that. My page gone. I be forgetting that somebody child ripped pages out of here. I want to say it's probably one of my nieces when they were small. Because I don't really switch Bibles like that. Go to 1 Kings 16 and 30. 1 Kings 16 and 30. After that, 1 Kings 18 and 1. Then Revelation 2 and what? 20. This is 1 Kings 16 and 30.
And Ahab the son of Omri did evil in the sight of Yahuwah above all that were before him. Mm-hmm. And it came to pass, as it had been a light thing for him to walk in the sins of Jeroboam, the son of Nebat, that he took the wife Jezebel, the daughter of Ethbaal, king of the Sidonians, and went and served Baal and worshipped him. And he reared up an altar for Baal in the house of Baal, which he had built in Samaria. Listen,
where it say Jezebel from, man? She from the Sidonians. She's a Hamite. So she participated in the Canaanite worship of Baal. You know what I'm saying? Could have been, you got Baal Peor, all that there in the third. We done went over this stuff before. What you do to worship of Baal, not going to do it again. 1 Kings 18 and 1. I mean, when I say not do it again, we're not going to rehash that. That's not the time or the place. You know what I'm saying? Y'all got your information to refer back to, or your memory, or a combination of both.
And it came to pass after many days that the word of Yahuwah came to Elijah in the 3rd year, saying, go show yourself unto Ahab, and I will send rain upon the earth.
Go ahead.
And Elijah went to show himself unto Ahab, and there was a sore famine in Samaria. And Ahab called Obadiah, which was the governor of his house. And Obadiah feared Yahuwah greatly, for it was so when Jezebel cut off the prophets of
Yahuwah. Off the who?
The prophets of Yahuwah.
I mean, she was killing them. So I just want you to understand something. She is an idolater. Therefore, she's hostile to the cause of God, kind of like what you read about that whore from Babylon. You know what I'm talking about? She want to go about she has a hatred for men who are of God and who work for God and who speaks God's word. She's not rebellious. She's not a whore. She ain't any of that. You know what I'm saying? When I say whore, meaning promiscuous. She wasn't sleeping around. She wasn't unfaithful. We can't say that she was unfaithful to Yahuwah because she was never in covenant with Yahuwah. You know what I'm saying? Because Ahab ain't had no business marrying her in the first place. Go to Revelation 2 and 20. Because that's a real Jezebel spirit, man. A real Jezebel wants you to worship another god. A real Jezebel will try to do harm, diminish, belittle, or destroy those who work for God. That's a true Jezebel spirit, man. Anything up, that's church dogma. That's church stuff. They made that up. You know what I'm saying? See, there's a spirit for a whore. You know what it is? She's a whore. Ain't no Jezebel spirit. She's a whore. If she want to overpower men, because Jezebel didn't overpower Ahab. Ahab went along with the stuff because you know why he went along with it? Why a lot of wicked people go along with stuff? Because I can still get what I want and I can try to say, oh, I didn't do it. Because a lot of people say Ahab was weak. No, you assume that Ahab was weak. Ahab went along with it. You know what I'm talking about? And you know why he went along with it? Because it was according to his desire. Because what he wanted, he wanted that vineyard. And you think he'd be shocked to go along with getting that vineyard when he already worshiping her God? You know what I'm talking about? He's already doing that. So you think he's just going to draw the line and say, I'm going to be righteous with this, but not that? Come on, man, that's retarded. Don't even make common sense. You know what I'm saying? And you have to sit back and look at that because a lot of people move that way. A lot of people, man, they're not godly because they want to be godly. Because see, we was having this conversation yesterday because we were talking about Martin Luther King. That Martin Luther King was a Christian in name, but not in application. Because, you know, King got essays. I told y'all about this recently, especially when I was telling you about the dude who did the deep dive that he was like King Martin Luther King wasn't no Christian. You can read Martin Luther King's essays. This man said he did not believe in a literal and physical death, burial, and resurrection of Yahushua HaMashiach. He didn't believe in that. And he said this out of his own mouth. Now, as far as the Trinity stuff, I don't care nothing about that if he ain't believing that, because he wasn't wrong. Clearly, he ain't stupid. You know what I'm saying? And then they harping on the virgin birth. But see, I don't care about those two things right there. You know what I'm saying? But that death, burial, the death and the resurrection part is the most important part. You know why that's the most important part? Because that's the sealing and the bringing in of the covenant. And also because of what's in Hosea 13 and 14, I have ransomed you from the power of the grave. Remember when we had that conversation about ransom and redemption and reconciliation? If you don't believe in that, then you don't believe that God said he was going to do what he was going to do, which is redeem you from the power of the grave. You understand? That man didn't believe in that. Now, what we were talking about is he said he went to this particular theological seminary. He's like, but them people taught this. The biggest mistake that a lot of people make is just because somebody talking some Bible, you think they believe it. It's a lot of people who teach the word and they don't believe it. A lot of them. And you know what the biggest aspect of that they don't believe it is going to show? In the fruit that they produce. That means they won't be producing no peace, no joy, no long suffering, no gentleness, no goodness, no meekness, no self-control, no faith, love, joy, or peace. They're not going to produce any of that, which means they're going to be a corrupt tree that will not be able to produce good fruit. And I'm not isolating this to just Christian people, man. Brews and all. It's a lot of these dudes, man. Some of people's favorite mores, teachers, elders, pastors, apostles, whatever title on either side of that aisle that they get themselves. It's a lot of them don't believe that what they teach. They teach it because for a multitude of different reasons. You know what I'm talking about? Some of them be in the game so long they feel like they can't get out. You got men who teach things wrong. They know that stuff wrong, but they can't change it because they feel like, well, what the people gonna say? Y'all be like, people really be naive out here, man. Really be naive out here. And that's why Paul wrote to them people that your faith and hope might be in Elohim. Because that's where your faith and hope need to be at. Same thing Peter told you. Same thing the Lord told you he would point to. Man, that word come, your faith and hope need to be in God and not in man. That's why he say, cursed be the man that trusteth in man who make flesh his arm. If you think flesh gonna save you, you got a problem. But it's a lot of people, man, they don't trust in God. They trust in the preacher. And see, a lot of us will think, oh, that's just the Christians. That's people, period. You know what I'm saying? Once you get off of this Christian Hebrew and just see human being dealing with the word, man, and that's just your theological stance, doctrine, whatever adjective you want to use, man, you can sit back and see, man, a lot of these people ain't on that, man. They not on what you think they on. Because a lot of these niggas don't believe what they talking about. But you know why they keep doing it? Because it get them yams, it get them status, it get them attention, it get them money. Because that's what some people are motivated by. And we don't be wanting to accept that that's the reality of the situation. This ain't to disparage nobody. You know what it is, Civic? It is what it is. You got to have the wisdom, understanding, and the discernment to decipher between the two. Because that's your job to do. It's not his job to scream with a banner if he believe it or not. It's your job to be able to discern through his conduct if he believes it or not. Not just his doctrine, because he could drop these people could drop the rawest doctrine you ever heard, and that man may not believe not a single solitary word he said out his mouth. Because you know why? Because once he get out that pulpit, cut that camera off, get off that corner, he gonna go live a totally different way than what he just said to you. Which is why the Lord told you the scribes and Pharisees sit in whose seat, and he say, hey, man, they words, do them, but don't do they what? Don't do after they words, though. Follow what their words say. Don't worry about what they doing. You know what I'm talking about? Because clearly, if I can give you the word and do something opposite of the word, guess what that means, Civic? I don't believe that. When I say I don't believe that, I ain't talking about just, oh, you ain't keeping the commandments. That don't mean you believe it. That means everything that man promised, every hope that's in this book, every tikvah, every expectation of reward, you don't believe he gonna give it. Every promise he made, you don't believe he gonna fulfill it. That's why you move in the way that you're moving. That's why you live in the way that you're living. That's the seriousness of the matter, man. You know what I'm saying? Because guess what? You could not eat pork, keep every Sabbath, you know what I'm saying, and still not believe a single solitary word he said. Because when your heart get tested for you to hold faster than promises, man, a lot of these whole niggas gonna fold, nigga, like paper mache, nigga, like origami out this hoe. And you just got to know that, man, and just let that be what it be. Don't get in your feelings about it. It is what it is. Come on, man, read Revelation 2 and 24, man. Man, make it 17, man. Bump that jump. Think of the doctrine of the Nicolaitans, man. You know what I'm talking about?
He said, he that have an ear, let him hear.
That's right.
With the rocks into the assembly.
What he said.
To him that overcome will I give to eat of the hidden manna.
That's right.
And I will give him a white stone, and the stone a new name written.
Which no man knows.
Saving he that received it.
What else he say?
And unto the Malachim of the assembly in Thyatira write.
What he told him?
These things saith the son of Elohim, who have his eyes like unto a flame of fire.
And his feet
are like fine brass.
What else?
I know your works in love, and service and faith, and your patience, and your works, and the last to be more than the first.
More than the first, baby.
Notwithstanding, I have a few things against you.
What you got against us, Lord?
Because you suffer that woman Jezebel.
Because you let that raggedy hoe Jezebel.
Which call herself a prophetess.
That call herself a what?
Prophetess.
Man, you got to watch them people who they call themselves, I'm a prophetess, I'm this, that, that, and the third. But what she had them people doing, though, blood?
To teach and to seduce my servants to commit fornication.
To commit what?
Fornication.
To have them be unfaithful.
And to eat things sacrificed unto idols.
My God, today. This is what Jezebel wants you to be. That's a Jezebel spirit right there, man. What he said, he'll teach and seduce my servants to do what?
Commit fornication.
And to eat things what?
Sacrifice unto idols.
So Jezebel wants you to be unfaithful and worship other gods. That's what she want to do. That's a Jezebel spirit, man. That's what you got to be paying attention to. Now, can a man have a Jezebel spirit in that instance? Absolutely. Because her desire is to seduce you and manipulate you and instruct you to depart from your God. Same thing we read about the beast in Daniel 11, ain't it? That he'd make intelligence with those who forsake the Kadash covenant to go against God. That's what it means to be of the world. You're hostile to his cause. His cause is Kadash, set apartness, holiness. You know what I'm talking about? His cause is being merciful, just, and upright. His causes of being abundant in goodness and truth, long suffering and forgiving. These are the things that he's about. He say, what does he take pleasure in, Civic? Loving kindness, judgment, and righteousness. These are the things that he say he delight in. People who are of the world, they're hostile to all of that. So they want strife and contention. They want separation. They're unforgiving. They're unmerciful. They have no good in them. That man say he'll draw you with love and kindness. These people ain't got none of that in them. A lot of people only got love and kindness in them till while you benefit them. And once you don't benefit them no more, the love go with it. But when we were talking about love last week, what he say, man, love don't never fail. See, let me tell you something, man. This is like I say, people be talking about, I'm in love, man. A lot of people who in love, you don't love them people. We read that last weekend. Some of them psychologists determine being in love is equal to having a mental illness. Because it's all emotional and it's all self-centered. When you look at it objectively and take your feelings out of it. Let me see what blood time. Say, brother showed me hostility for being apolitical. They got us programmed. Yeah, nigga, man, my OG told me a long time ago, man. Big homie told me straight up and down. Hey, man, don't argue with people about politics and religion. You know what I'm saying? And I seen that too. When Big Cuz told me that, man, I was probably like 18. So, you know what I'm saying? And I seen that there because people get emotional about that stuff. But check it. Man, what I was just talking about? I forgot. I can't remember. It'll come to my brain in a minute. Oh, that's right. What we were talking about last week, right? When you take your feelings out of it, you take your emotions out of it, you take your preconceived notions from previous interactions with people you had, and you look at what being in love is, it's 100% selfish. You know what I'm saying? Like straight up and down. You think that you really are objecting, loving somebody, but it's really about you and the emotional high that you get from this individual. Because when you contrast that to what this word say love is, love in the context, and remember we talked about this many years ago when we was looking at, an olive male. Just looking at what we would say, people say an alpha male now, but alpha means one. And we just look at, okay, aleph is the first letter in the Hebrew alphabet. Let's look at what aleph means and then look at that in contrast to the Aleph male of all males, Yahushua HaMashiach, and his conduct. And one of those things was being altruistic or self-sacrificing. And when you read 1 Corinthians 13 and you read Exodus 34 and you read Jeremiah 9, where these things where Yahuwah is declaring what type of character and what type of individual he is, you see that his love is not about him. It's I actually love you. See, let me tell you something, right? And this be hard for people to understand from a mature aspect in America. If you had been with somebody before and you actually love them, even if you're not with them no more, you should still love them. And if you don't love them, guess what that means, Civic? You never did. But see, this is the difference what people don't understand. I could love you, but that don't mean that I want to be with you. Because most people are so emotionally stunted. If they heard that, they would assume that you still want to be with this person. But what they don't understand is if I love you, that means that I actually not seeking my own, that I'm actually going to be kind to you, that I would actually want to be merciful unto you, because it would have nothing to do with any manner of me trying to rub my genitals against yours. But because you're thinking from an in-love aspect and an attachment aspect and an obsessive aspect, you can't understand as a grown adult that you could love somebody, but that does not mean that I want to be intimately involved with you in that type of capacity. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of people, this is not a gender thing. This is men or women. They can't understand that. Because you didn't actually love this person who you was dealing with. That's why you can't understand how this person could be mature enough to say, yeah, I still love her. I don't mean I want to be with her. How am I gonna sit back and you have to ask yourself this question. How could you look somebody in their face at a point in time in your life, look them in their eyes and open your mouth and say, I love you. I love you. And then say, oh, I don't love them no more. Nigga, you never did. You never did. You never did. Like, you got to really consider that, man. Because this man say love never fails, my nigga. That's what your God say. That's not in situations that's particular to the situations that you wanted to be particular to. He said love don't fail. That means if I loved you 10 years ago, I love you now. But what you don't understand is love is not an emotion. It's not a desire for companionship. It's exhibiting that in your conduct towards another person. You know what I'm talking about? Let me read this here, man. What you holding, blood? You say you were told the same thing, Sister Regina, don't argue politics and religion. You seen the clip of Tisha Campbell was kind of saying that she has never been loved, more in the emotional, selfish kind of aspect. You know, and a lot of people look at that because they're looking from love from an emotional standpoint, which I would knock them for that if that's all you know or as you see it as. You feel me? I can't even really be mad with you about that. Go ahead, bud. What you said?
I think the last thing was
Revelation
24. We just read Revelation 2.
Okay, now read me 1 Corinthians 13:1 on general principle again. Just on general principle again. Praise you who if that confirmation for you, my G. Praise you who. Yeah, he said, but I kind of understand where she was coming. And I would have to hear what she was saying because I probably would understand where she's coming from. Because for me, I don't really look at stuff like a person's wrong. A person's perspective is their perspective based off of their life experience and the information that they've achieved at that particular time in their life. You know what I'm saying? Because like I say, when we were talking about being in love, when we read that last week, that's what was wild. You understand what I'm telling you? That you have psychologists that are like, oh, this is borderline narcissistic. This is borderline this, that, and the third. Bro, that's crazy. And even when they was talking about, oh, having an attachment style. Say you flabbergasted, I could love you but not like you, but I always love you. Yeah. Because, come on, man. Because we look at it, remember, because that's why I mentioned that last week, obviously, because it was not focusing on Valentine's Day, but just because, people were talking about it, the act of romantic love, because romantic love and godly love, they don't go together. You know what I'm saying? They don't go together. That doesn't mean that you can't have quote unquote romantic love with somebody, but those two things are not congruent. Meaning you can show somebody godly love, but they would rather have romantic love based on how they're socialized in this country that we live in. So they'll have a greater appreciation for romantic love than they would for godly love, because godly love is not promoted. You're not socialized to godly love. You're not instructed to godly love. So therefore, that's not going to be the utmost of importance to you, because when you look at these films, or these television shows, or you hear these love songs, they're not making entertainment for you, talking about love in the framework from a godly perspective. They're making it from a romantic perspective. And like I mentioned to you last week, the romantic perspective is really only a Western thing. That's not a worldwide thing. That's not a thing that's been done throughout the annals of history. People didn't love like that. You know what I'm saying? That's not how people chose they mate. That's just not how human beings moved, period. Which is the only reason why I mentioned it. You know what I'm saying? Now, we saying, oh, we the children of Israel. We the sons and daughters of the living Elohim. We've been born again. Then you would need to understand that culturally, you would need to shift how you look at love versus love how you've been taught in a society that is not objectifying, promoting, instructing, or exalting godly love. You understand? Because Jeremiah 31 say, with loving kindness, I'm going to draw you. That man say, greater love have no man than this, that a man lay his life down for his friends. He said, you will know, the world will know that you are my disciples if you love one another. That's why he say, amen, forgive one another, have vows of compassion, forbearing one another as a Mashiach did. Because we not taught that an aspect of love is having forgiveness. You ain't even told that. You don't even think that's love. And you know why? Because you'd rather walk around here holding a grudge and being bitter, but your law tell you not to be like that. Your Redeemer told you, amen, Forgive and be merciful and be perfect like your Father in heaven is perfect, because he's merciful and he forgives. This is how he show love. How do we know this? Because when he proclaimed his name, that's exactly what he was said. I forgive sin, iniquity, and transgression, and so mercy unto thousands. I'm long suffering. You don't even consider long suffering to be love. Why? Because nobody taught us that that's love. You know what I'm talking about? Nobody taught you that. You know what I'm saying? Now, one aspect that those black people are taught is love is that if I didn't care about you, I'd let you do what you wanted to do. That's why I correct you. But people don't believe that correction is love, because that's not how you're socialized in this society. You know what I'm saying? And that's how you begin to understand that, as you know, as Lauryn Hill put it in that song, you know, rebel, or to separate from the system, because this system is not a godly system. This society is not a godly society. The things that they're, if you want to be godly, that is, let me preface that. If you want to be godly, you have to relinquish everything that's a part of this society. You have to do it. There's no way around it. You can't take bits and pieces of this society and mix it. At that point, you know what you're doing? You're mingling diverse seed. You're wearing diverse garments at that point. You can't mix them seeds, man. It's not going to work. And you can be hard-headed, and you can be stubborn, and you can be rebellious and think that you can mix them. And the Almighty who sits in Shamahim, Yahuwah of hosts is his name, is going to show you that you a plumb dumb fool and a time sufficient unto him. You know what I'm saying? Because I can read in the word and tell you it ain't going to work. It's not going to work. That man say, what you need to be? He said, I need you to be what? Hot or cold, ain't it? He said, I can't have you lukewarm, or I'm going to spit you out my mouth, because that means you ain't picked a side. You ain't picked a side, man. You got to pick a side. You got to stay over there. Because, see, ain't no gray area with you who is black and white. And that's what people don't like. Because people don't like that you have to make a definitive stance. They want to try to hide inside the gaps and in the cracks. Don't work like that. Not with him. It might work like that with man, but it don't work like that with him. You know what I'm saying? That's why you have to sit down and count the cost if you got sufficient to pay. You got to ask yourself, is this what I want to do? This is not to be discouraging. This is not to be disparaging. This is strictly exhortation for you to weigh and consider. You feel me? 1 Corinthians 13:1, blood.
Though I speak with the tongues of men and of Malachim and have not love, I'm become a sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal.
That's right.
And though I have the gift of prophecy and understand all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, so that I can remove mountains and have not love, I am nothing.
That's right.
And though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, and though I give my body to be burned.
Now, listen, right? You would think if a person gave all his goods to the poor, he would have love in him. But he said, if I did all that and I didn't have love, I'm what? Say, what did he say?
Profit me nothing. Love suffer long.
Pause. And we're going to do it again just because. Tell him what suffer long is, man. He say this what love look like.
Akrafumeo, that is to be of a long spirit, not to lose heart, to be patient in bearing the offenses and injuries of others.
Listen, that go back to what I was talking about, dealing with your children, right? To be patient with them. So listen, right? And it's just being 100. That being, when we say we like patience, we say we like love. That's what you're saying. You don't realize that's what you're saying, but that's what we're saying effectively from a heavenly standpoint, not an earthly standpoint, a heavenly standpoint. Because we know what Exodus 34:6 say, because we read it all the time. Yahuwah Elohim, merciful, gracious, founded in goodness and truth, long suffering, showing mercy unto thousands, forgiving sin, iniquity, and transgression. On general principles, if we go to Exodus 34, give them the definition of long suffering. So he tell you love is patient. So if you love somebody, you got patience with them. It's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? Go ahead, bud.
Got a rock that is long, where you got patient and slow to anger.
So not only are you patient, but you slow to anger. We know what the Apostle James wrote, to be slow to wrath, swift to hear, and slow to speak. He told you wrath don't work the righteousness of Elohim. You know what I'm saying? So when we quick with wrath, that means that's not the love of God. When you lack patience, that means that's not the love of God. This is why he say, be perfect like your Father in heaven is perfect. He wants you to emulate this behavior. Now, you ask yourself, when we look at this particular society, that's not an aspect of love that is continually taught. I ain't saying it's not taught. I'm talking about it's not one of the biggest tenets that promote it. What's happening with you, homie? It's just not. Now, again, we're talking about a contrast of what Yahuwah desires and what this society promotes. So this ain't no knock on nobody, because we all live in this society. So that means you've been socially engineered according to the society that you live in. You understand? We talk about this all the time. The social engineering or the socialization of the society is the society that you live in. We seeking to do like your forefathers did coming out of Egypt and cross over. And what did Yahushua, son of Nun, tell them? Everything on the other side of the flood, leave that over there. So that's what we seeking to do, because they were socialized to the ways of Egypt. They had to learn to, you got to leave that stuff over there. You don't left that. That's on the other side of the flood. That's on the other side of the, leave that over there. You know what I'm saying? We have to learn to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? And it can be difficult. It can be arduous because you're accustomed to looking at things in a particular way as it pertains to the society that you live in. Come on, Sabo.
1 Corinthians 13:4. It say, love suffer long and is kind.
Give them kind, obviously.
That is crucial. Ami, that is to show oneself mild, to be kind, to use kindness.
To show oneself mild, to be kind, to be kind. Now go to Jeremiah 31:3 and give them the definition of love and kindness. You can read the verse if you're so inclined. Oh, shoot, but you can just go ahead and ask him.
So you who have appeared of old unto me, saying, yea, I have loved you with an everlasting love. Therefore, with love and kindness have I drawn you.
Now give them the definition from Hebrew what love and kindness is. We know love is a hab.
Yes, chesed, goodness, kindness, faithfulness.
So a part of love is being faithful and being kind. He just said love is kind. You know what I'm saying? He said, I'm going to draw you with love and kindness. So that means this is an element of his spirit, of his character, if you will. Remember, he said Elohim is a ruach, and everyone that worship him must worship him in ruach and in truth. So you would have to worship him with long suffering and loving kindness. That's an aspect of it. If we're bereft of that, then we don't really have love in us. This is why Paul said, I could do all these things, but if I don't have this right here, I ain't got no profit. You know what I'm saying? The next thing on the list is 1 Corinthians 13.
Say love, envy not.
Give him envy by definition just because.
This is a low. That is to burn with zeal, to be heated, or to boil with envy, hatred, or anger.
Love ain't got no envy, no hatred, no anger with it. You know what I'm saying? So see, when you find yourself with hatred and anger towards somebody for something that they did, you don't love them. Now we can preface anger for a little bit. It's really more so the hatred. You know what I'm saying? Because he said, man, how can you say you love God and you who you've never seen, but you hate your brother whom you've seen? Now, again, we talking about the aspect of the delineation of living in society that say, oh, I'm in love with her, I love her, and then you turn around and you say you hate this person, and this person ain't even really did nothing extreme to you. Are you good, brother? You good, brother? You know what I'm saying? Because I get it if you have some angst and anger, if somebody actually did something to you. You know what a lot of people be falling out? You hate a nigga because y'all had a disagreement. Nigga, grow up. You immature as hell. If you around here falling out, angry, hate, I'm talking about hating somebody because you disagree about something. That's a sign of your immaturity and borderline stupidity. Especially if you over 30. Man, you shouldn't be around here hating nobody and falling out with nobody from a difference of opinion. Nigga, that's insane. You know what I'm saying? When you turn around and you look at it, man, and you sit back and you like, okay, absence of somebody being participating in infidelity. What did this nigga really do to you? You let your emotions get the best of you. Because if this nigga ain't beat on you, if she ain't beat on you, if they not be just, I'm talking about extremely disrespectful. Like I'm talking about being injurious. I'm talking about literally being injurious. Man, that nigga ain't did nothing for you that you be walking around here hating this person like that. You need to grow up. You know what I'm saying? Nah, man. They just be upset. And even if somebody went and had sex with somebody else, now I understand your feelings gonna be hurt. But then you would just have to understand this here. Stop taking stuff personally. Clearly, this person is sexually irresponsible. What that got to do with you? Why is you taking that personal? Because the reality is, what somebody do with their genitals ain't got nothing to do with you. And you know why? Because them ain't your genitals. Now, I told y'all that plenty of times. I learned that lesson young, man. That's her vagina, man, and she gonna do what she want to with it. And ain't nothing you could do to stop it. And the minute you begin to live your life worrying about where and what and who she doing with her vagina is the minute you lose your manhood, man, because you worrying about the wrong thing. Because I can understand if it's your wife. Don't get me wrong, because you don't want nobody else to run up in your wife. But if they did, what could you do to stop it? And if you find yourself stressing about what she doing with it, where she taking it, it's time for her to go. Because that means you consume with something that you shouldn't be consumed with. That means you don't leave no room in your mind for your God because you worry about where she at and what she doing. Because I ain't finna put no tabs on you. Because you the one said you wanted to be over here and you was going to do X, Y, Z. So if you don't do it, that's representative of your character, baby. That ain't got nothing to do with me. You going to be summarily dismissed, nigga, like recess. You are dismissed. Good day to you. You know what I'm talking about? And that's it. Because I'm not going to be stressing myself like that about no human being, man. I'm not going to be doing all that. I'm not going to be calling you, asking you where you at, where you been, who you been with. You's a grown adult, and you know what you signed up for. You know what I'm talking about? That's one of them things. That's why as a grown man, don't be questioning me about nothing. Don't ask. What I'm talking about, I ain't talking about no general like where you been. You know what I'm talking about? You know what I'm talking about? You know when people being interrogated. This, that, there, and the third. I'm not going to be doing all that. I'm grown. You know what I'm saying? My mama stopped asking me where I was going when I was 16, 17 years old. I paid the bills in this hole. Let me ask me where I've been at. Well, what the hell you mean? It's too late for that now. No, it's too late for that now. Now, understand now, don't be no douchebag. We ain't talking about she just, you know what I'm talking about? Shoot, what you did today or where you know when people just asking genuine. And a lot of times they really don't care. They hope you don't get no answer. You know what I'm talking about? Because they ain't really want to have no conversation. Or your old lady really could be genuinely like, I really would, you know what I'm saying? Where did you go today? I want to hear about it. Some of y'all old ladies might want to hear about that, you know, and that's cool too. But most of the time they know where you've been at work. Or the gym. Or at work. You know what I'm talking about? Because I don't think, at least with a gentleman here, I don't think most of y'all hanging and swinging in these streets, man. You know what I'm talking about? Like average married people do, you know, they might go to the bar, go to this, that, there with their homeboys. A lot of y'all don't do that. So you know what I'm saying? So the aspect if your husband came in the house at a particular time, that would throw you off because that would be abnormal. You know what I'm saying? See, that would be reasonable for you to ask that because, okay, we don't do these type of things. You know what I'm saying? You was at what bar? Doing what? You know what I'm saying? Most of y'all, man, if y'all husbands came in the house 2 o'clock in the morning, that would be a problem because it would be abnormal. Because you don't do that. Where you been at? Oh, this nigga ain't came home? What the hell going on with that? That's not unreasonable. You know what I'm saying? But we don't live them type of lives where people are hanging out, so that's not an issue. Don't ask me where I've been at. You know what I'm saying? Not if it ain't no genuine concern. If you feel like you finna keep tabs on me, I'm grown. I'm not keeping tabs on no grown person. You know what I'm talking about? No. I keep tabs on churn because they my responsibility. I ain't keeping tabs on no. That boy say the studio. Boy ain't recorded. They ain't put out an album in 10 years. Some of them always at the studio. Where the music at? This nigga ain't made now song. You know what I'm saying? Nah, for real though, man. Because you know what I'm saying? Because you grown. Because at the end of the day, I'm being serious now for this here, right? End of the day, right? 2 grown adults entered into a covenant with each other. So therefore, you covenanted with this individual and you made this covenant before Elohim. You know he don't fool with covenant breakers. You know what I'm talking about? So once you did that, and you stood before God and gave your words, you were going to do X, Y, Z. I ain't got to watch it. He watching you. That's why I hold that position. I ain't got to watch it. He watching you. You can hide it from me. You can't hide from him. You know what I'm talking about? He say, ain't nowhere where the workers of iniquity can hide themselves. Ain't that what he says, Simbo? That's what he say. Ain't no way you can't, man, you can hide from me, baby. You can cover it up and all that there. It's not my eyes you need to worry about who's seen. Better watch for them 7 spirits that flew through the earth. They seen you, nigga. They seen you. They seen you. You know what I'm talking about? When I'm talking about for those that's in the word, man, when you go to looking at it like that, man, then you realize, hey, in due time, what he told you in Luke, man, ain't nothing hid that shall not be revealed. Man, God will put you on blast in due time, baby. All I got to sit back and do is wait. If you think they're out of pocket, if you think they're doing X, Y, Z, man, that man gonna pull that curtain back and they nakedness gonna show. Just sit back and wait. That's all you gotta do. I ain't finna stress myself out about that jump, man. Shoot, man, you been had a stroke. You know what I'm saying? Because you worrying about what this woman. I seen a video the other day, right? Dude walking, you know the dude that be walking up, grabbing women's hand? Mm-hmm. Man, dude did it to this black chick, her dude standing right there. He just sitting back looking like, she was like, oh, that's my man. Oh, you ain't gonna say nothing? You know what he said to her? You ain't gonna say nothing? She had like that cut dip. He did what he was supposed to do. Because I know a lot of women feel like that. Look here, man. If I'm standing there with you, that man don't know who I am to you. And that man try to holler at you, and you don't be like, oh, no, I'm good. My man right there. If you don't do that and you looking for me to intervene, I'm going to leave you right there where you standing at. Because you supposed to say it, son, folks, I ain't got no cape on. I ain't no sucker. I ain't doing all that. Because you a grown woman and you supposed to be grown enough to say, I got a man. I got a husband. My husband right there. Don't disrespect me and my husband like that. That was supposed to come out your mouth as a grown woman. If you looking for me to jump in, no, that's my woman. See, you think I'm a sucker. You think I'm a sucker. You think I'm a crash dummy. I ain't doing that for you. I'm going to see what type of woman you is. Because if you won't do that when I'm standing there, I know you won't do it when I'm not. That's why I'm going to leave. Because any self-respecting woman going to let that be known. My man right there, don't play with me like that. When you don't do that, I know you a scallywag. We talking about the other day, I know you a scallywag. You know another thing I know you a scallywag? You keep a doggone dishes full of sinks. I know you know what I'm saying, sink full of dishes, you know what I'm talking about? I said it backwards. You know what I'm talking about? I know you don't wash your coochie. You know what I'm talking about? My mama taught me that a long time ago. I told you about that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of women ain't clean for real. You want to know if she clean? That's why I told you. That's why women don't like for you to pop up to their house unannounced, because you can see how they really live. You don't really hear dudes screaming about they don't like people popping up to their house unannounced. They really don't care. Women don't like it because you're going to see how she really lives. You know what I'm talking about? You'll see how she really lives. I'm telling you, boy. My mama told me that a long time ago. But she keep a whole bunch of dishes in her sink. She don't wash her coochie. Because if she don't wash what she eat off of, she don't wash her body. And you know what I learned? She wasn't wrong. At least not in my experience. She wasn't wrong. Mom Dukes was right. You know what I'm talking about? That's why I was good for it, too. I'm going to pop right up to your house. You don't even know I'm here. Look at this dirty hoe here. You know what I'm saying? Look at this nasty hoe. Yeah, man. For real. You say you seen a video like that with a woman at the gas station. She was married and said, I don't entertain. She handled that correctly. That's right. That's what T.I. said. I can't be your man. You know what I'm saying? All jokes aside, though. Yeah, you don't do all that, man. You know what I'm saying? Because that's what's supposed. A self-respecting woman is going to check that nigga and her dude standing right there. She going to check it. She don't check it, but you ain't got you nothing, boy. That's a scally. Wag. A skeezer, if you would. You know about that? You know about a skeezer? You might be too young for that. Go ahead, sir. Where we at? Still in 1 Corinthians 13? Mm-hmm. What's the next one, man? Joy, what's happening, little homie?
God, love vaunt not itself. It's not puffed up.
Love is not proud, so therefore you're not going to lift yourself up over this other person. You know what I'm saying? It's not going to be like, okay, I do X, Y, Z, so I'm better than you. Or like to say, I do everything for you. That's love lifting itself. Love don't do that. Go ahead.
God does not behave itself unseemly.
You don't behave yourself improper. What else?
Seek not our own.
It's not selfish.
It's not easily provoked.
It's not easily provoked. Given provoked by definition, man. Now, again, this is just to give a contrast to how God teaching you what love is versus what this society does. You know what I'm talking about?
That is.
It's not about us individually. It's about the society.
Paroxysmal, that is to make sharp or sharpen, to stimulate, spur on, to urge, to irritate, provoke, to arouse to anger.
Listen, so that means love does not irritate intentionally, does not provoke to anger, it does not go about seeking a way to piss you off intentionally. You know what I'm saying? Love don't do that. Go ahead.
We got think no evil, rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoice in the truth. Bear all things, believe all things, hope all things, and endure all things.
What else?
Love never fails.
Love never what?
Never fails.
Now you see all them things we just read. You see how you could be with somebody and not be with them no more and love them and still, I don't want to be with you. Because that's when you look at love for what it is. That's how you can be able to do that. If you're looking at love from how we're socialized, then you're probably not going to be able to do that. That's why I give thanks to Yahuwah for my grandma. Yah have mercy on her soul. Because, boy, like I told y'all plenty of times, y'all already know I'm finna say, Joanne Bonton died when I was 6 years old, man. You know what I'm talking about? But the one thing that I do recall this woman saying, besides don't you hit that baby, don't you beat that baby, was love was an action word. It was something that you do. So we were not, at least and I can't speak for my female cousin, but I know Gregory the same way. We were not socialized to look at love as an emotional thing. You know what I'm saying? We just weren't. That's why I say I can't mention my cousin or Muffin because they girls. So, emotion's gonna play a different role with them. You know what I'm saying? Versus with me and our two male cousins. You know what I'm saying? But you know what I'm saying? My mom and my auntie, they ain't socialized me like that. So I didn't look at love as an emotional thing. So therefore, coming of age, I didn't look at that I needed to attach myself to a woman. You know what I'm saying? Because I had that pulled up with attachment because we had stopped with that. Let me see if I still got it. I might have got it off here. I think I did. Hold on. Because that junk had me intrigued, so I had to look more into it. See, they got an attachment style quiz. Man, put that up there, man. And I know we mentioned the attachment styles, right? You know what I'm saying? But it might have been something else. I think it was an emotional attachment thing. I remember. Because that's what somebody said, like being emotionally attached. And they said, again, it's rooted in nature and nurture. Falls into three main styles: balanced, anxious, and avoidant. But all of them stated is characterized as going back to your childhood. And I think we read that the other day. You know what I'm saying? And I think when you sit back and you look at it, because I think a lot of people have a dysfunctional interaction, more specifically with their mother. You know what I'm saying? Especially men. I think that's why a lot of men, because you hear a lot of women talk about being in love, but I'm gonna be honest with you, a lot of dudes be wanting to be emotionally attached to a woman because they want to be emotionally attached to the feminine principle, like they were emotionally attached to their mama. You know what I'm saying? Now, how that emotional attachment with their mama look like, I can't really speak on that. Each individual man have to speak on that. And I don't have any facts, statistics, or studies or anything to back that up. That's just my perspective. You understand? Especially when you hear so many dudes be like, ain't nobody gonna love you like your mama. You know what I'm saying? You hear the dudes scream that all the time. And to me, coming even before the word, I always thought that was weird because I never looked at any woman and hoping that she was gonna love me like my mama. I never had no thought, anticipation, or expectation for any woman to do that. I'm talking about at 18, at 21, at 25, at 30, at 35. I never met a woman be like, man, I wonder if she gonna love me like my mama. Because she's not my mama. You know what I'm saying? She's not my mama. I don't want to have sex with my mama. I don't want to see my mama naked. What I'm looking for to be able to garner from this woman is not what I'm looking to garner from my mama. So that's why I say that, because you hear a lot of dudes say that ain't civic. You know what I'm saying? You may have said it yourself. I don't know. You know what I'm talking about. And I ain't knocking nobody if you ever, because again, it's about the socialization in the society that you in. You know what I'm saying? But I ain't never looked for no woman, because what do a lot of women believe? Oh, he just looking for another mama. And based off what we was looking at that attachment thing, I definitely believe it's rooted in the fact of how you were or weren't attached to your mom. Listen, man, once I got to a certain age, I don't even think I was ever emotionally attached to my mama. You know what I'm saying? I love my mama. Don't get it twisted. Once I got to a certain age, it's like, okay, I'm a man now. You know what I'm saying? I don't need you to do X, Y, Z for me no more. You know what I'm saying? Or I'm not sitting back looking at, when you're a little boy, you want to hug on your mama, you want to lay in her lap, you want to do all them things because that's your mama. But then you get to a certain point where, okay, I'm a man now. I love my mama. I can give my mama a hug. I don't need to lay in your lap no more. I don't need to lay on your chest no more. And then you know what you hear a lot of, no, you should always keep. No, I don't need to always keep doing that. And it's not because of being devoid from any amount of what's the word I'm looking for? What you call it? Affection. You know what I'm talking about? It's the aspect of, if I continually try to stay attached to this woman as I become a young man to a grown man, then I'm going to seek that from a woman who is not going to have the emotional capacity to be able to provide me for that, because her interaction with me is not going to be the same as my mama. My mama was invested in my survival. You know what I'm saying? You always got to remember that your mama is invested in your survival. She was invested in your growth. She was invested in your survival because she nursed you upon her bosom. She was invested in your survival. She wanted to make sure you never did nothing to injure yourself. She was invested in your growth. That's why she taught you how to read, taught you how to count. You know what I'm saying? All these type of things. You meet a woman in the street, she's not invested in those things when she sees you, because she's looking at, is he a proper mate to be able to procreate with? What level of leadership ability does he have? What type of knowledge does he have? What type of ambition does he have? What type of production ability does he possess? Your mama not thinking about none of that with you, unless she a maggot. You know what I'm talking about? That's why, you know what I'm saying? That's just my point of view when it comes to that. Maybe I'm wrong. You can share your thoughts. Well, I don't say I'm wrong. Maybe I'm looking at it in the wrong fashion, I should say. See, it says when you have attachment issues, it's problems forming an emotional bond with others, difficulty with boundaries, or risky behaviors. And listen what they say right here. About causes of pathological emotional attachment, physical or emotional abuse or neglect from caregivers. You know what I'm talking about? This is when you say you have a pathological emotional attachment. Reject, dismissed, or shamed by caregivers for their emotions. Now, this third one is reasonable, and that's traumatic loss. Now, if your mama or grandmama or auntie died, you know what I'm saying, or daddy died at a young age, that's reasonable. You know what I'm saying? That's reasonable, in my opinion. Or repeated changes in primary caretakers, foster care, thus limiting the opportunities of formal, stable attachments. Now, I say that because when you look at what they're constantly referencing, which is causing people to have the inability to attach or seeking to attach to the wrong people, is rooted in your childhood. So you know what that tells me? That tells me once you become of age, you shouldn't be attached to nobody no more. That's just me. You know what I'm saying? I don't see the rhyme, reason, and purpose for that. And I believe personally that that's what it makes it difficult for people to attach to God, because you seeking to attach to him emotionally, you're not going to learn how to attach to him spiritually. So because you can't attach to him spiritually, you're going to be looking for an emotional type interaction and bond with him that he don't participate in. You know what I'm saying? Because we know Galatians say those that are Mashiachs are crucified their emotions and their desires. Because if he's a Ruach, he's not bound by emotions as man is. So then therefore, he can't, but you can't connect and attach and bond with him in that fashion. You know what I'm saying? This is stuff that we have to consider. Again, for those who are going to be, pedantic and things of that nature. This is not to discount any type of emotional anything. You know what I'm saying? This is to give proper perspective so that we can become the sons and daughters of God that we say we want to become. But you would have to understand to be able to compartmentalize Y'all, you know what that means, Civic? You know that means that you can be able to take your brain and put things in this area, and this area, and they don't necessarily have to overlap. That means that I can understand to love godly, I need to do this. But if I have a desire for emotional whatever, I can still be able to function in that and not allow one to dominate the other, if you would. Though godly love has to dominate everything. But you get it. Where we actually said, well, we need to go back to Revelation 6.
Go with the First Corinthians.
Yeah, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. Because I personally know, trust, and believe that godly love is way better. You don't need no doggone patches on your jacket, and you got a fresh varsity letter on that. You should put it on that jacket if you're gonna put it on a jacket. She want to keep it clean, like she's back in high school, like she was on a cheerleading squad, and they gave her a letter. She didn't even go out there. Nah, but all seriousness though, man, because that junk hit different. You know, because I don't think sometimes we realize in certain areas how much we've been socialized to go in a particular direction. That makes it hard for us where we try to go to the right-hand side when we've been pushed to the left-hand side. You know what I'm saying? So you have to come and be able to recognize, okay, I'm moving over here to the left-hand side. It's pulling me from the right-hand side. Let me stop, assess, and say, okay, so I can get back on the right-hand side. That's the part that we talk about what makes the way difficult, because that's when the aspect of the flesh come in, because that's what really makes the way difficult. You know what I'm saying? You fighting against flesh and spirit. Remember, you say they're opposite to one another. You know what I'm saying? I only mention that because the way that we're socialized to love in America is literally carnal, versus how God is teaching you how to love, which is literally spiritual. That means they're going to have a difficulty meeting in the middle together. They're not going to be able to do it. Not an Illuminati official member. He wanted to come on stage. I should have let him come up there just to troll him. These people need to stop scamming. You know what I'm saying? You seen that boop? You want to join the Illuminati? He making an offer. Ain't no black nigga named Steve in no Illuminati. This nigga cheesing with Ray-Bans on. Come on, man. Revelation 6. We was reading about that. But what you seen in, like I said, in Isaiah 24 and Isaiah 13, which we read previously. Hey, man, that red horse, that seal get unloosed. No, it ain't tough for real. I think the toughness come in is the realization that we've been lied to when I didn't even say lied to. We just been mistaught and we misguided. You know what I'm saying? But I wouldn't blame anybody for that per se. I wouldn't blame our parents. I wouldn't blame our grandparents, great-grandparents. I wouldn't blame anybody. You know what I'm saying? When you live in a particular land, they have their particular culture and particular way of doing things. You know what I'm saying? And then considering we're a group of people who lack identity to a certain extent, you know what I'm saying? And you say, hey, I see that our identity is the people of the book and they live, you know what I'm saying, like 1, 2, 3, ABC. Once you've been in the word for a while, you begin to, if you really, really in it, you feel me? You begin to see the contrast of this culture and that one, meaning the one that you live in. You know what I'm saying? And then you start to notice like, yo, these people are really hostile towards God. That's why I really mention that, because the way that they teach love is really hostile to godly love, because it'll be very difficult for you to display it. You know what I'm talking about? Because it's their way of loving is carnal, so it'll never cause you to, it'll be a love from the spirit. Case in point, go to Colossians, right? Go to Colossians 3 and 10. Because I done referenced it a couple of times. I just want you to read it off the paper. Everything on it, though. We done shifted a little bit. Because really, we was in Zechariah 4, and we really completed what we needed in Zechariah 4. Everything else been a bonus just to stretch this title out. And then we got to go to Judges 1, Numbers 1, Son in Esther, another one in Jeremiah. Something like that.
And have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him.
Oh my Lord! Look at that! What the hell?
That possum.
They got a goddamn possum out this hole. Where the hell that come from? In the woods over this hole.
I'm big behind possum.
Wasn't he though? Oh, ugly nigga too. God damn it! That nigga need to get out my yard, man. God damn. Hold on, bud. Yeah, we got Jeremiah 5, Esther 2, Nehemiah 2, Ruth 3, Book of Obadiah, Lamentations 5. Oh, I can take Zechariah 4 off. Yeah, Judges 1, Numbers 1, Lamentations 5, Obadiah, Ruth, Nehemiah, Esther, and Jeremiah 5. We probably go to Obadiah next. That nigga looking for vittles. Ain't nothing back yet. That nigga ain't got no rabies. Y'all on neighbor across the street got two wild them niggas. Dude, I'm like, boy, that gate don't look like that could stop them. Go ahead, man.
And have put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created him, where there is neither Greek nor Yahudim, circumcision nor uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, bond nor free. Mashak is all and in all.
That's right.
Put on therefore as the elect of Elohim.
Put on therefore as what?
The elect of Elohim.
What do he want you to put on?
Kadash and beloved, bowels of mercies.
Hold on. So the first thing he needs you to put on is bowels of mercies. So we know from Exodus 34. What he say he is merciful. We can see obviously if you're dealing with, he say love is kind. That's being what? Merciful. What else he wants you to put on?
Kindness.
Boom. Kindness. Mention that both. You heard it in 1 Corinthians 13. You know that's in Exodus 34. What else?
Humbleness of mind.
Love doesn't lift up itself. It don't bond itself up. What else?
Meekness.
What else?
Long suffering.
Oh my God. Long suffering again? What else he wants you to put on?
Forbearing one another.
Forgiving one another. And what else?
If any man have a quarrel against any, even as Mashiach forgave you, so also do you.
Because a king cover. He said, hold on. Let me find that proverb, right? You know what proverb I'm talking about, Sid? King, he that covered for transgression, what he see?
He see love.
Now you see how that's socialized differently. Proverbs 17:9. So well, read it for him.
He that cover transgression seek love, but he that repeat a matter separate very friends.
And how do we know this here? Because what did it say? They say, Lord, if you would mark iniquity, who should stand? But there's forgiveness with you that you might be feared. So when you seek to cover transgression, you seek of love. What he just told you, Civic? Read Colossians 3:10 again. Now again, I keep reiterating this because I don't want nobody to take any of this stuff personally, because it's nothing personal. This is understanding the direct difference, because we're talking about the world. And the definition of the world in Greek, one of the definitions is hostile towards the cause of God, cause of Elohim, the cause of the Almighty Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Yahuwah of hosts is his name. Would you see it again? He coming to get you. Niggas, you better watch your back because they coming to get you, niggas. You don't know that song, I'm sorry. He looking for food. Yeah, he looking for food. Ain't nothing back there. Because we have to see how this society has taught us to be hostile towards God. The reason being is this society has taught you to attach in what they deem as love before you can attach to your God. And like I said, that's why I referenced that particular aspect of we can look people in the face and say we love them and then say, I don't love you anymore. You never did. You know why? Because that's why people say, I fell out of love. No, what you fell out of was an emotional attachment. Now that and we don't even see how deleterious that is to us as an individual. And then we be pushing young kids to start dating in high school and middle school to go through this emotionally destructive process and think this is how it's supposed to be. Just like I seen people say, oh, you think people missing out if you married your high school sweetheart, you ain't get to experience other people. You think that's love, that out here being a hoe. You really think you need to be with 10, 15, 20 different people to find out what you want? No, you're retarded. You're retarded. You know what I'm saying? And you know why you're retarded? Because you don't know yourself. You understand? And what I mean by that, when you know who you are, then you can be able to identify what you want from another individual. If you want to go through the process of the aspect of how people date in America, if you would, you understand? When you don't know who you are, you know what you got to do? You got to cycle through different people to figure out what you like because you don't even know who you are. And in the process of doing that, you're emotionally destroying yourself. And you mentally destroying yourself. And quite possibly could be physically destroying yourself by picking up any manner of STI and STDs at this point. Because what people scream is soul ties, it's not soul ties, it's nothing but emotional attachments. Your soul ain't tied to nobody else, nigga. Your knee fast ain't getting stuck to nobody else. That's something you made up to understand that you're emotionally attached to another person. You know what I'm saying? And then that emotional attachment can be rooted in any manner of childhood experience. And this person is providing or exuding something that you perceived, that you desired and or lacked as a child. And that's why you stuck on them. You know what I'm saying? That's why you stuck on them. Now, some people are stuck on people because a person gave them what they perceived as love, which was different from other people. You know what I'm saying? But that's why you people, I'm not in love with you anymore. No, you never loved that person. You thought you did. But you thought you did based off the aspect of what you were taught. I can love you and say, but yeah, we can't keep doing this. You know what I'm saying? Matter of fact, I love you enough to say, you know what? We can't keep doing this. Now, of course, obviously, if we talk about it in the words, we ain't talking about divorcing your spouse. We're really talking about the mindset you would have before you got in the word. Because like I said, I can't even say that's exclusive to women. I think that's on both sides of the ledger. But I think women take it more personally than men may do. Men do take it personally. I just think they won't verbalize it as swiftly as a woman will. They'll just walk around mad. You know what I'm talking about? If this woman say, I love this man. Because you have to realize something, man, when you were grown adult. Newsflash, you niggas weren't virgins. You know what I'm talking about? So guess what that means, Civic? That means in your mind, at some point in your life, you love somebody else before the person you with right now. Yeah, you did. You did. Or at least you thought you did. You know what I'm talking about? And if you mean to tell me that you could have spent intimate time with an individual for a particular time and you looked them in the face and said you love them and then you say you don't love them no more just because you want to make somebody else feel a certain particular type of way, you ain't keeping it real with yourself. You be like, yeah, I love that nigga just like I love this nigga over here. I don't mean I want to be with this nigga. I mean I want to live with this nigga. That mean I want to have children with this nigga. But yeah, I love this nigga. How can you? Because we don't understand what love is. That's why we can't understand that can't be a thing. I'm just using that as an example because that's the most extreme example I can come up with to show the contrast of that. This society ain't teaching us what love is because I can love you and not want to be around you. And you know how you know you can be able to do this here? Because y'all got family members who you love, but you don't fool with them. You know what I'm talking about? I don't go to Granny's house like that. Granny on some other type of time. I love her though. Meaning, if they was down now, of course, now the reality of this here, right? If you done dealt with somebody, man, 9 times out of 10, they probably not gonna call you and be like, I'm down bad, this, that, then the third. But you know how some people look at it? No, don't do nothing for them. Let them do this here. See, that's your injuries in your soul talking. Because you can't be no godly person to have that type of attitude. I wouldn't care who it was. You know what I'm saying? Because you know why? Because if you call, I wouldn't care who it was, man. If you was down bad and you needed somebody to be merciful on you, you would hope that they would be. It's supposed to be a caveat because we used to rub genitals next to each other. You know what I'm saying? I just want you to sit back and look at that from because obviously culturally in this text, you wouldn't have had people you was with before your spouse. But guess what, Civic? Is that the reality of the world we live in? It is not. Y'all have given your loins away to other people before your spouse if you were not a virgin when you laid with your spouse. So that means you had interaction and care for other people. And if you genuinely love these people and they was down bad, I'm talking about really, because you never know, man, for some people, they might feel like, shoot, I ain't got nobody else to call, so I just called you, see how it work out. Because you know if a nigga calling you and they trying to see if there's a way in. You know what I'm saying? And guess what you still supposed to do? Be merciful to that nigga, and then you understand what you're supposed to do for civic court of Romans 16. Mark him. I know what type of time you on. I'm going to adjust and deal with you accordingly. I'm talking about you have to go from being mature, man, and not being emotional about everything. You know what I'm saying? Because if you know, especially if they did you dirty and they calling you, what's up, big head, and all that, man, get your goof behind off my phone. That's what you're thinking in your brain. You know what I'm saying? Well, what you need? Oh, you know, woo, woo, woo. You know what he told you? If your enemy be hungry, Civic, what you supposed to do?
Feed
him. And if your enemy be thirsty, what you supposed to do? Because in doing so, what you doing to him?
Keep close of fire.
Shoot, keep it in mind. He said, if I had people look at me strange when I say I don't say the cliche phrase in love, I see that I love you or I don't. I tell my people you're supposed to love people because that's what Christ says. That doesn't mean you stick around toxic. Indeed, that's a true story. You ain't got to. You know what I'm saying? You got to. But I'm just like I say, this is a contrast. You know, hopefully y'all ain't got people you used to deal with just randomly calling your phone. You know what I'm saying? Because that would be unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? That would be completely unfortunate. It's just a contrast. You know what I'm saying? Don't be around here looking at, so did your baby mama call you? Did you? You got to do all that, man. You need to check your spirit, man. On some real, not on some real, because I mean, you might mentally, you might not be you worrying about the wrong thing. Because you can't stop him, baby. You can't stop him. Look at, man, this dude's been laying next to women, and that woman was a prostitute, and he ain't know it. He couldn't stop if he wanted to. Y'all done seen all them cliche stories they be having, the dudes be messing with women in the strip club and spend all their days trying to convince her to stop. Man, you can't stop that woman from doing that. She want to get on stage. You got women who show you his story, women mess dude having sex with everybody he come across, and she running herself ragged, trying to figure out what he doing and stop her. And you know what I'm saying? Sure, this Barbara, you ain't got to do all that. Baby, you can't stop it. You can't stop it. You ever been able to stop somebody from doing something they want to do? Shit.
They hard-headed.
It ain't even just putting me hard-headed, man. People gonna do what it is that they're inclined to do.
It don't matter how many warnings you give them.
It don't matter. That's what they want to do. You can't stop them. Look here, man. God don't even try to stop you from doing what you want to do. What he just said, words you just used, Sylvia, you just give him a warning. God gave you a warning, but at the end of the day, if that's what you want to do, what you pulling out, knife? You heard how that sounded? That just sounded like she pulled a sword out the sheet. Yeah. She was watching them doggone white folks the other day. She was in here watching niggas get decapitated. Nigga took his helmet off. He ain't had no brain.
Sure that is.
He want to watch it. Don't help him out. She got excited about that. You know how she did me the other day? I'm looking at son. She talking about, you ignoring me. I say the same way you do when you watch your white friends. That nigga said, touche. Because I want to watch some gangster stuff. She like to watch handmaids and whatnot. She want to watch white people in medieval times. What kind of junk that is?
Bridgerton, man.
That's what you was watching?
No.
He said Bridgerton. See, she know who it is, though. I don't know these people. Come on, sir.
It's saying that put on the new man, which is renewed in knowledge after the image of him that created.
Notice that it said renewed in knowledge. Just give him renewed by definition.
Yes, and a kaino, that is to cause to grow up, new to make new strength and vigor is given to one to be changed into a new kind of life, as opposed to the former corrupt state.
Born again, if you would. You know what I'm saying? Go.
You say, where there is neither Greek nor Yahudim, circumcision or uncircumcision, barbarian, Scythian, bond nor free, but a Mashiach is all and in all. Put on therefore as the elect of Elohim.
What you got to put on, Sibo?
Kadash and beloved, vows of mercies.
What else?
Kindness.
What else?
Humbleness of mind.
What else?
Meekness.
What else?
Suffering.
What else?
Forbearing one another, forgiving one another. If any man have a quarrel against any, even as the Mashiach forgave you, so also do you.
Do you?
And above all these things,
put on
love.
Put on what?
Put on love.
Everything we read in 1 Corinthians 13, he told you to put on what?
On on love,
which is the bond of what?
Perfectness.
He said, if you can put on love, you'll be in the bond of perfectness. Tell them what the bond of perfectness means. That hit the spot. How you just hit that? That hit the spot for you?
Perfect is teleotes. That is perfection. The state of the more intelligent or moral and spiritual perfection.
And what was bond? It was all one word.
And bond is sundesmos. That is that which binds together, a band, a bond. That which is bound together, a bundle.
He said, man, if you put on love, you'll be bound to being perfect. Now, you see the difference as far as socialization is concerned, because we're not socialized like that. You know what I'm saying? Because this man said, if you put on love, like we read in 1 Corinthians 13, of course, we didn't do it this evening, but of course, we've done it in the past. Looking at how Yahusha exhibited these, whether Old or New Testament, how he exhibited those characteristics. That when you put on Yahushua HaMashiach and you make no provisions of the flesh to fulfill the lust thereof, you show the bond of perfectness. That's why he say, what's the two greatest commandments? That you love Yahuwah your Elohim with all your heart, all your strength, and all your soul, and your neighbor as yourself. And then, of course, then the text gives tangible examples of how you can practically implement that. And when you do that, you'll be perfect. And again, that goes into the other aspect where people screaming, oh, you can't be perfect. And they don't even realize, because we reference the passage all the time, perfect love cast out fear. So clearly we know from 1 John, there's a thing of perfect love. You know what I'm saying? So therefore, in another instance, you know what I'm saying? When people say you can't be perfect, then they saying you can't love. You know what I'm saying? The reality, I'm talking about from a godly point of view. We talking about from the book of Yahuwah point of view, not a worldly point of view. You know what I'm saying? Not a societal point of view. We talking about from a godly point of view. People tell you, oh, you can never be perfect. They telling you can't never love then. Not from a godly point of view, because Paul just wrote from these people and we can see it in the text. If you put on love, that's the bond of being perfect. You tied to perfection at this point. And he said to be able to be tied to this perfection through love, you need to be what? Be renewed and put on the new man, which means you would have to what? Make you a new heart and a new spirit, like the prophet told you to do. Simple. You know what I'm saying? Now, of course, sometimes word-wise, you got to give you caveat. You a human being, your spouse a human being. You know what I'm saying? Because that be the other part that get left out. You still a human being. And, we've been mentioning that a lot lately because I need for y'all to just to understand that, because number one, that allows you to be merciful. But let me say merciful. That allows you to be long-suffering, not only towards others, but to yourself. You know what I'm talking about? So you understand when you're still a person, okay, you can be born of the word and you can still respond to certain things worldwide, you know what I'm saying? Life-wise, that, you know what I'm talking about? Because, you're not a robot. You know what I'm saying? Ain't got to go into details. Just had this conversation. Like, shoot. That nigga handled it like a professional, like he's supposed to. But at the same token of doing that, he still left space to feel like a human being. See, you can still feel like a human being and be a professional. You can still feel like a human being, but respond godly. That's a part of that example when they say, be angry, but sin not. You know what I'm saying? That's what that looked like. You being godly doesn't divorce you from being a human being. Because again, you crucify your affections and lusts, but they're still there. So that means that though they're there, they're dead. They don't dictate how I behave. They don't dictate how I respond. They don't dictate the choices that I make. It doesn't dictate the places that I go. It's not going to my emotions are not going to dictate that. You feel me? That's right. You ain't supposed to hide your feelings, just express them right. You know what I'm saying? And shoot. And depending on your level of ability to process your emotions, shoot, you ain't even got to express them. You know what I'm saying? Depending on what it is, because you've already expressed them to yourself to be able to conclude, this is what is occurring. This is what I'm feeling. This is why I'm feeling it. But nevertheless, this is what I'm going to do because this is what my God desires. I ain't just say require just then. I could have said require, but I chose to say desire. Why? Because this is what he take pleasure in, and he would want for me to take pleasure in that. Or, you know what I'm saying? As cliche as it is, what would Jesus do? The Lord faced these things. How would he respond? Because he said, hey, he was subject to like passions as we are, yet without sin. You know what I'm saying? So it's taking a totality of that. Because I've been saying that for years, because people used to get misconstrued. They be like, oh, you saying you ain't having emotions? No, nigga. I'm saying that I don't make choices based off emotions. Because making choices based off emotions is how, okay, I'm upset, I'm going to go drink. I'm upset, I'm going to go get high. Some people get in an emotional state, and that's why they say they participate in risky behavior. Now you want to go have sex with everybody because you think that's going to make you feel better. But then it don't make you feel better. So guess what you end up doing? Spiraling and continuing in that behavior because you don't know how to process what you're feeling. And I'm also mentioning this here because I know a lot of, whether it's Israelites or Christians, they don't really leave space for you to be a human being. You know what I'm saying? Which is why I've really been pressed about mentioning that over and over again for the last 4 to 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Because I noticed that through observation and conversation with some of these people. Like, bro, you still a human being though, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, you really fronting on here. You know what I'm talking about? Like, you ain't got to. Now, I'm not saying you got to run around and scream what you feeling to any and everybody you come across. You know what I'm saying? But you do need to have the ability to identify it for yourself and allow yourself the space to feel it. You know what I'm saying? Pause. You know what I'm talking about? And then, you know what I'm talking about? If you need to express it, then express it. Because some people need to express what they're feeling, and some people don't. I know women are more inclined to want to do that than men are. You know what I'm talking about? Because men usually are accustomed to processing what they're feeling. I won't say secluded, but in isolation, but not isolation like you lonely. You know what I'm saying? You get off somewhere, you know, men usually get off somewhere where it's quiet, where they can think and they process what they're feeling, then and be able, you know what I'm saying, whoop, 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 and go about their business. Usually if it's too heavy, a man going to open his mouth and say something. You know what I'm talking about? But, you know, women are more inclined to say something in general. You know what I'm saying? And it's not a negative thing. It's just men and women are different. And you have to realize that too. You know what I'm saying? You know, sometimes, you know, when it comes to emotions, you know, most men I don't want to hear that. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, women, they be wanting to get that stuff off their chest. You know what I'm talking about? We really be wanting to, because, you know, emotions is not our thing. That's why you never get in a battle with a woman as it pertains to emotions, because you're going to lose. You know what I'm saying? You're only going to lose because she has more experience in dealing with it than you do. You know what I'm talking about? You're fighting at a disadvantage. You know what I'm talking about? You're fighting at a disadvantage. What if you have a partner that doesn't believe? Now, as it tells you in 1 Corinthians 7, if you be pleased to dwell with them, you know what I'm saying? You roll with them, because somebody who don't believe in the word doesn't necessarily mean that you can't have positive interactions with them. You know what I'm talking about? You know, that's on the case by case cases that really just read that for us. We're going to go to 1 Corinthians 7, man. What it is, man, by verse 5, I guess. Because that's a case by case basis. You know what I'm saying? That's not because it's going to depend on the individual who don't believe and how they behave and how they move. You know what I'm saying? I don't even know which one would be easier. I don't know if it's easier for a woman to be with a man who don't believe, or a man be with a woman who don't believe. Because I think if you with a woman who don't believe and say like she's into certain things, like when I say to certain things, about like say Valentine's and Christmas and things like that, it can be very difficult because she gonna want you to compromise that.
I feel like it's probably easier for me to be with a man who don't believe.
You know what I'm saying? But then also, I don't know on the flip side with a man, because he might have resentment when it be certain things that you don't like. Nah, I ain't on that. You know what I'm saying? And then he go to thinking she putting God before me, or you know what I'm saying? I don't even really know which one would be easier, because I said, like, I don't understand it. Like, because I seen women complaining about, like, I don't understand, like, these men saying they don't celebrate Valentine's Day. Like, as a man, if you know you don't fool with that, why would you go get with a woman who won't that? You know what I'm saying? To me, that don't make sense. Like, if you know Valentine's Day is a big deal to this woman and you know you ain't really on that, then you would just be like, baby, it's just best for us to just not even get started, because I ain't on that and I ain't never going to be on that. And I don't want you to be sitting around hoping one day that I'm going to be on that, when I done told you plainly I don't celebrate Valentine's Day. I don't celebrate Christmas. I don't do none of that. You know what I'm saying? Because I just noticed it was a lot of women who was like, it's a red flag if a man don't celebrate these things. Because again, they're socialized in this society different. And you have to sit back and realize, because a lot of niggas be in the word and they be wanting to go somewhere else. If she socialized a particular way, she views these holidays a particular way. You know what I'm saying? So they gonna look at you differently when you say, hey, I don't really fool with that. You know what I'm saying? So you gotta look at it like that. Come on.
Defraud you not one the other, except to be with consent for a time, that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer.
Indeed.
And come together again, that Hashatan tempt you not for your incontinence.
That's right.
But I speak this by permission,
what you speak,
and not of commandment.
What's that?
For I would that all men were even as I myself, but every man have his proper gift of Elohim, one after this manner, and another after that.
Indeed.
I say therefore to the unmarried and widows, it is good for them if they abide, even as I. But if they cannot contain, let them marry.
Let them marry them.
For it is better to marry than to burn.
And
unto the married I command, yet not I.
Not I, but
let not the wife depart from her husband.
And let not.
But if she depart, let her remain unmarried.
Why?
Or be reconciled to her husband.
That's right.
And let not the husband put away his wife.
Don't do it.
But to the rest speak I, not the Lord.
Not the Lord.
If any brother have a wife that believe not.
If any brother have a wife that
believe not.
And
she be pleased to dwell with him.
And
let him not put her away.
And
the woman which have a husband that believe not.
And
if he be pleased to dwell with her.
And
let her not leave him.
Tell him what pleased mean there, man.
That is sumudokeo, that is to be pleased together with, to approve together, to be pleased at the same time with, consent, who agree to.
If you please to be with them, if y'all consent to be to each other, but they don't believe, roll with it. Go ahead.
Say, for the unbelieving husband is sanctified by the wife, and the unbelieving wife is sanctified by the husband. Else were your children unclean, but now are they kadash. But if the unbelieving depart,
let them depart.
A brother or sister is not under bondage in such cases.
Now, if this person want to dip, then let them dip. You know what I'm saying? But again, this is Paul speaking this. He say this is not a commandment of the Lord. He's saying this is my perspective. You know what I'm saying? This is my advice and counsel that I would give to you and pertains to this. And people act like, you know what I'm saying? He believe, hey man, people who teach the word do that all the time. And because he let it be known, he said, I speak I and not the Lord. And that's what he said. Mm-hmm. He was giving his advice. If you're in this situation, this is my advice. You don't have to follow it. You know what I'm saying? So if you with somebody who don't believe, if it ain't no issue for you, then shoot, stay with them. You know what I'm saying? Stay with them. That was 1 Corinthians 7:5. What verse you stopped in, blood?
We stopped in 15.
Stop there. So verses 5 to 15. You know what I'm saying? You know? Yeah, that's just what it is. You know what I'm saying? And that's a case-by-case basis. You feel me? Because that's not a question that I could answer. Like, if you was like, should I leave my husband? I don't know. I don't live with that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Should I leave my wife? I don't know. I don't live with her. But if they don't believe, but everything, copacetic on your end to be there, and it's not a hindrance to your service to God, I don't see the reason to leave. You know what I'm saying? Now, like he said, if they want to dip, he said, hey, man, let them dip.
That's the unbelievers.
Yeah, that's an unbeliever. Like, let them dip. So but yeah, that's fine. Of course you're there. You've been together 18 years. Yeah, shoot. Because I ain't going to lie to you. If somebody get in there, if one spouse get in the word and this person actually love you, you know what I'm saying? And I can understand it's going to be clashes because the clash is going to come from divergent points of view. But then again, some clashes could just become what happened when you've been married to somebody for a long time. You know what I'm saying? And it ain't got to be about no word. But you know what I'm saying? If a person really fool with you like that, and they know you 100 about what it is that you doing, they probably not going to fool with you about that anyway. You know what I'm saying? And just like I said, Peter said, if you want to win, the wives can win their husbands by their conduct. The same way that, hey, man, if your wife ain't on the word, shoot, just serve God. Because that's what a lot of them be looking at. You know what I'm saying? But now, if that person is like really giving you static for worshiping your God, like making it an issue, then you should need nobody to tell you what to do. You know what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Again, you know, I done told y'all before, I'm not going to tell y'all what to do and what not to do. Because you're grown. We can lay out the pros and the cons, and you can make that decision for yourself. You know what I'm talking about? But yeah, man, if you with somebody, man, and you in the word and they not, and everything is forth as y'all interactions and relationship is copacetic, and they not really no strife and contention about you serving God, shoot, stay with your spouse, man. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, stay with your spouse. So there ain't really no reason to slide. You know what I'm saying? What you sliding for? You ain't outside. You ain't at the park. You know what I'm saying? Stay with them. Yeah, that's all. We'll get off here. So it's 3 hours, man. We'll get to conclude. We'll finish all this here. The y'all will on tomorrow. Hallelujah for y'all who shout in the word. I appreciate y'all time this evening. Bless out the house of Elohim. In the name of Yahushua. We kind of went off the path or we was on, but hey, praise God, it worked out either way because it still was a part of what we were discussing last week. So either way it go, it'll work. I appreciate y'all. And I bless y'all the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. You know what I'm saying? Love y'all. But again, check it right. Again, I don't want nobody to take the you know what I'm saying, the latter end of what we were discussing personally, because it's not about us personally. This is about the understanding of the contrast of two cultures. You know what I'm saying? We got the culture of Yahuwah and you have the Western culture. Because we were talking about based on what we were talking about with the Genesis 6 and the Isaiah 24 and mentioning, you know, the love of the world being hostile to the cause of God, and Elohim is love. So when we look at what's in 1 Corinthians 4 and 13, excuse me, and like what we read Exodus 34 and like what he read in Colossians 3, it's the contrast to show because at the end of the day, love 9 people out of 10, really 9.5 people out of 10, is the biggest thing that most people desire in this life. You know what I'm saying? This is why some people have children with people they don't need to be having children from, because they're looking for somebody to love them. You know what I'm saying? This is why some people get pets when they don't have a spouse or they don't have children, because they're looking for someone to love them. And I'm going to be honest with you. There's absolutely nothing wrong with you having a desire for someone to love you. You know what I'm saying? The aspect is how you go about achieving that. It's like what we was reading, what the aspects come with the pathological emotional attachment is coming from usually because love was discontinued from your parents because one of them or both of them passed away. You know what I'm talking about? Or you didn't get what you needed or wanted from them, and therefore that carries over into adulthood, and you looking for that. Now, of course, I didn't have any psychiatric understanding of this as a young man, but this is one of the reasons why I told myself, hey, boy, I'm going, if Muffin didn't know that nobody on this earth loved her, she was going to know I did. Because I noticed a lot of the young women that I grew up with did not have love from a masculine role model, and they were out there seeking it from men with their genitals. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I didn't have no thoughts of contempt or ridicule towards these young women. I really, you know what I'm saying, had a level of compassion and felt sorry for them, 100% honest with you, because they were seeking out something that every human wants, but just going about it the wrong way. And I ain't want my sister to fall in that trap. Because that's just understanding human behavior. You know what I'm saying? The mass majority of people want to be loved by somebody. That's not blood. You know what I'm talking about? And even that, you still want to be loved by them. And the reason why I say not blood, because in the back of most people's mind, you feel like your people have to love you because you related to them. You know what I'm saying? People be looking for that love to come from somebody who has no familial ties to you. Because in the minds of most people, and it's fair, you believe, well, that love's different because they're choosing to do it. You know what I'm saying? Your mama, daddy, sister, brother, cousins, aunties, and uncles and grandparents, they're not choosing to love you per se. You know what I'm saying? But that man or that woman, they choosing to love you. See, that's why the love of Elohim is so magnificent, because he choosing to love you. And we don't be realizing that. You feel me? And we don't be choosing it back. You know what I'm saying? Just to be honest with you, man. Because once we can dispel and destroy certain societal constructs that we may hold on to, and make it easier for you to put on the bond of perfectness, which is love, so that you can receive the Ruach HaKodesh and the life and experience Yahuwah for yourself on another level. You know what I'm talking about? That's really why I mentioned some of these things. Maybe I can put the attachment quiz. I could put the attachment quiz in the chat, man, and you can take it for yourself. See what you come up with. You know what I'm talking about? Because I think we did read that last week, when it said your emotional attachment was based off of your mama. I was like, damn, that's wild. And you know, and the reason I mention this is because we use these phrases all the time. I'm in love. But we don't really know from a psychiatric / psychological standpoint what that look like, what that means. You know what I'm saying? Because I ain't ever really looked into. I've looked at emotional attachment before last week, but it wasn't a deep enough dive, because I don't recall seeing none of that. You know what I'm saying? As forth as what they were talking about. Because to compare being in love to a mental illness is wild. But you know what's funny? That boy BOA used to say that all the time. That being in love is a mental illness. And to see that there's certain notable psychiatrists who look at it that way, that's crazy. I'm not saying that you have to agree with it, because again, this is their hypothesis. This is their theory. You know what I'm saying? It's not something that they're saying concretely as a fact. If you disagree with it, that's fine. But then you would have to look at it. If you disagree with it, you got to really be able. Do you disagree with it because you just feel like it's fundamentally attacking a principle that you held and it makes you nervous and uncomfortable, so therefore you're lashing out? Or do you have tangible, reasonable arguments to come up with why you disagree with something? See, you weren't ready for that, was what you said. Because you got to be able to make a difference between the two. Sometimes we lash out at stuff that we say we disagree with it only because you feel attacked internally. You know what I'm saying? Not because you have reasonable points that you can cogently express why you disagree with something. Because if you can't clearly and concisely express why you disagree with something, you really don't disagree with it. You just don't like it. There's a difference. But y'all willing, man, we'll be back on tomorrow. You know what I'm saying? You see what you call it? Pure be coming up real quick, real smooth on anime. Right around the corner and down the block. So that baby around the corner, ain't it, boy?
Yeah, 3 weeks.
Doris say, boy, she feel like Cameron now, man. She ready. Ain't nothing wrong with that, man. But again, I appreciate y'all. I bless y'all the house of Elohim in the name of Yahushua. I love y'all, man. Yahuwah willing, man. You say you don't know enough yet to argue. She wild with that. Y'all willing, man. On tomorrow.